go. Got it in one, I think. Let's see. But. I'm in Shoulder Town for Bucky, though. Hold on. There we go. Okay, there you. It's like, just if you're gonna, you're gonna show the guns off, but you gotta let me know. Gotta adjust the camera. All right, cool. So, hey, everyone, we got it in one, I think. Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. This is always the struggle. Down to like 7. There we go. Sorry, rhythm. All right, so hey, everyone doing? Happy Monday. Good lordy lord. Hope everyone is doing great, having fun, doing all kinds of nonsense, celebrating the release of video games, etc. Ooh, gotta answer that real quick. So for everyone who is tuning in, welcome. It is Monday night, which means the Dungeons and Dragons time. If you're new here, first time viewer, I really need to not forget. I'll do it. Someone hold me to it. Tonight, I will update the Discord channel with more information of like game stuff. I think I eventually got to put together like a running the story so far kind of thing. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kareem Zamir. The folks to my right, I think you guys are on my right, are the Seekers of Galanti. You can see their information and character art down below. I have a big empty box below me because I am currently working to see about getting some art done. And then we'll have like our social media stuff. As well, I'm going to eventually start linking our Instagram. We started an Instagram. It just seemed like the thing to do. People kept telling me Instagram was the thing. So we are Second Wake D&D on Instagram. Feel free to give us a follow, a like, etc. I don't really know what to use it for yet. It's mostly just been posting like, hey, game tomorrow. Hey, check us out. Sort of stuff. So I'm going to try to restrict it only to Dungeons & Dragons stuff. So if you are here for the Dungeons & Dragons and not here for the anything else, it is a good signal to noise ratio for that. My hope is to use it to more just interact and reach out and kind of help grow the community. We have a Discord channel down below. You'll find it down in the doobly-doo. Let's see here. Yeah. So yeah, the Discord channel has an infinite link, so feel free to do that. We also have a YouTube channel if you want to get caught up. If you've never watched what we do for Dungeons & Dragons before, please feel free. The YouTube is your friend. We recently updated all of the first 10 or so episodes. God, that's so many episodes. We updated them, though. So now they all have links to the Discord and kind of like a little bit more of a running notice for that. So if you haven't already, feel free, join our Discord, check us out on YouTube, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'd appreciate it. It's good to know that people like what we're doing. We tend to have a pretty good regular audience, which is more than I could have ever hoped for streaming Dungeons & Dragons after kind of being bullied into doing it a little bit. Like, you should do it, and now we're doing it. So that's how that is. So yeah, there's that. Big thing, big announcement, big deadline for people who are tuning in, especially if you're regulars on Twitch. Please note today is the deadline. Tonight is the deadline for the subscription giveaway that we're going to do this week. My hope is at the end of tonight, when we're ready to say peace out and leave, we're going to, or rather I'm going to go onto our Twitch. I'm going to pull our master list of who is subscribed for February. And then we're going to, later this week, I'm thinking either Wednesday, probably Thursday, because Wednesday night tends to be a little bit busy. We might do the drawing on Wednesday just as like a quick thing, like a quick little 10-minute thing, maybe like right after 5. Sounds pretty good. But I will stream just like a random.com. We'll throw all the names into a random.com. We'll pick a winner. The winner is going to be contacted by yours truly to finance a piece of character art. So you tell me the artist that you're working with, or someone that you find on Twitter or wherever you might find an artist, Fiverr, whatever you might have, and up to $100 will be financed for character art. So anything you want, safe for work, not safe for work, etc. I don't have to see or be privy to the final piece if you don't want to. You don't have to be part of our Discord to do that. It does require that you are subscribed, because that's the only way I can pull a list out of Twitch. So this is just something to kind of celebrate us becoming an affiliate channel, and as well celebrate the idea that if you come here and people like dope art, that's cool. We want to keep supporting dope art and dope artists. We could, take the payouts from Twitch and put it into subscriptions and all the other malarkey and do all that fake crap. But I'd rather have 100 people that follow the channel that are really, really invested and really like what we're doing than, 1,500 people that don't show up to watch us live. So there's that. So if you're interested in that, if you're like, hey, I would really like that thing, or I really want a character or something like that, feel free to follow, subscribe, and there we go. And that is kind of a thank you for subscribing on our end. I think that's just about it. I did want to point out as well, we have a new emote that I wanted to call attention to. It finally got approved right on time. I'm going to put it in chat. Bam, there it is. It is Dr. Vasler. It is the small demon-like character that has now made its habitat within JJ Lightning's hair. You can find mention of Vasler earlier in our journey here and earlier in the story. A great member of our community, Twilight Cleric, worked with Doomington to produce this emote. They both just tremendous people. Twilight as well gave us full permission to use the emote, so we got a second emote slot. Why not? Now we got goblins and we got little demon guys with little doctor demons. Big shout out and thank you to Twilight Cleric. We do appreciate it. As always, if you like what we're doing, you guys are awesome. Really moves me and brings me to tears, but I've already cried them all out, so there we go. New emote in the chat. Feel free to use it however you so choose. I think if you are subscribed to the channel, another benefit is that you can use these emotes anywhere on Twitch. So if you follow other streamers, other folks, you can show off your fancy dancy emotes. We have 2 more emotes that are currently being processed. One is just my kind of go by icon, which is the Calibiri, the Eternal, with some sunglasses. So if you want a cool lich icon, that is going to be exclusive to people who donate biddies, because that is the thing that I learned that you have to reward. Otherwise people, whatever. You don't need to donate biddies ever, but they let in Twitch, if you are crazy and you're like, I want to give these people a bunch of digital dollars, then awesome. And I feel like you should be rewarded for that. So we have 2 things pending. One will be, I think it's if you've donated 1,000 biddies, it'll be unlocked immediately and it's retroactive. So if you've already done it, it'll do it. And then another one's 5,000. If you've lifetime donated 5,000 biddies to the channel, you unlock the second emote, which I believe is our Calibiri Shocked. It's like a shocked lich kind of thing. We have it already in our Discord, but for everyone at home, it'll be something to unlock soon. When those actually unlock, I have no idea, because Twitch says that it's a manual approval process, and it took a week to get our Dr. Vasler updated, or rather approved, I should say. There we go. It still feels like it's too loud. There we go. 1%. We're going to keep it at 1%. There we go. If you like emotes, if that's your thing, if you're an emote collector, we're going to try to keep doing that. My hope is that every time we unlock an emote slot for whatever category, we fill that slot with something. So we continue to grow the channel. I think at lifetime, we can eventually get to 5 different emotes for the channel. We can get to 4, I think, for unlocking biddies, and we can get ones for tier 2 and tier 3 subscriptions, but I honestly don't know how any of that works. So don't worry about that, because that seems like a big thing of money, and that's awkward. Never give if you can't. So, don't feel forced. I think that just about does it for my stuff. We are playing, if you like what we're doing, you'll notice below in the channel points, if it's your first time tuning in, our channel points have a number of channel goals. We'll get into one of the goals before we get started tonight. I will get back to that in a second. But before that, the only reason why we stream on this channel outside of that is pretty much so that people can lurk and earn channel points in the off time. From the off time currently, we tend to stream a co-op game, either Dead by Daylight or Sea of Thieves, typically on Thursday nights. And then on Friday, sometimes you'll see an afternoon stream just for funsies. Saturdays, I've been doing solo player games, so if you want to check that out. I think we just picked up Yakuza So the very first remake of Yakuza. It's been having fun. If you've never seen a Yakuza game, they're really just story based. It's kind of like playing a movie. So if you ever just want to watch somebody do that who knows how to press a button or two, feel free to join in for that. But it's mostly to get your channel points. And then Saturday nights we tend to do like another group game night. Often just with whoever's available. Typically Morgan and her partner will be available and we'll play some type of co-op, especially if we're playing. It's usually like Dead by Daylight or like golfing or something ridiculous. So if you want to see people troll the hell out of killers with flashlights, you can certainly do that. Again, way more proficient. And then Sundays have just been kind of like a filler gap. I think we played Sea of Thieves last night. I don't know. One of these days we'll make it a board game night. We just got a bunch of new board games from the Humble Bundle. We'll figure something out. We'll figure a board game night or something like that. Also special shout out, because she probably won't do it herself. JJ just hit affiliate, so yay! So go ahead and follow her on her Twitch channel, which is /it's AZLY. She'll probably link it in chat. I don't know. She's on top of that. She's way better social media presence than I am. But she hit affiliate after streaming for, I think it was like 7 days intermittently, and then getting chatters and all the other non-stuff. She's been doing Warzone Wednesdays. So if you want to see somebody who is really proficient at Warzone and then still get outshined by 3 other people that she's related to who are also really proficient in Warzone, feel free to check that out on Wednesdays. She's also been doing crafting streams and cooking streams, so check her out. Details will probably be in the Discord. I think she's posted in there a few times. And of course, if you're part of our Discord, any one of our Seekers of Galanti who go live for streaming for any reason, provided it's not like they're not monster people and they're like, I want to stream hate speech, because then we won't promote that. But I don't think anyone would do that, but just, but if any of them go live or get into streaming, the Discord server will always promote them. So we make sure that is a thing we do. We want to be as supportive to everyone here as possible. Yeah, I think that is honestly the last thing I have for announcements. Anyone else in the Seekers? Announcements, comments, concerns, shilling, anything you want to do? Soapbox. Boop, 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 pass. I'm seeing a lot of shaking heads. No? Okay. Punch, Colt. Seems fair. Okay, dokie. So, I will get into the review in a second for what happened last week, but I think I want to start with what happened last week in real life. So last week in real life, during one of our gaming streams, one of our community goals was passed. We are down to one last community challenge, which is the Static Journey. We have just this week to complete it. It'll determine whether or not the Static complete their mission as well, alongside the current mission in Ravan that the Seekers of Galanti have undertaken. But more specifically, due to your I don't want to say interference, or I don't want to say assistance, or I don't know really what I want to say here. But due to the community, to the viewers, to you, my hand gets all illuminated. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's too much light because I'm pale. So due to you watching at home, something has changed, something has moved, something has become unlike what it once was. And that is far across the cradle of Ardenham. That is far across the Bay of the Serpent. It is here, on the far left of your screen now. Left? I think it's left. You will see the City of Bronze. Over the last week, the Bronze was opened. A long-forgotten and thought desolate city, coded and crafted from the bronze, forged from the realm weavers themselves. It's a wonderful and tremendous place. And now, thanks to your assistance, kind viewers, dear watchers, horrid little monster viewers and listeners, the gates to the City of Bronze have opened for the first time in recorded history. Truly now, we can only hope, we can only pray that what lies deep within the City of Bronze shall be of assistance to the realm at large. But the gates have opened. The city, again, has become a place where those who live within it can reach out into the Everwield once more and explore the realm and the world that was left behind in the wake of the Realm Weavers. Will it play an important role in our story? We can only say, I don't know. But Certainly, I can point to a very large blackened spire somewhere else on the map currently. That is also your fault, viewers. So, love you. All right. With that, let's pick on somebody. I vote Morgan. Morgan, what happened last time?
I genuinely do not remember. I'm going to be honest with you.
I got one. All right, you can.
I had a long week.
That's fine. You can tag a friend. Who do you want to pick? You can pick on anyone you want. I give you the power.
Who did it last time?
Orville, I think.
Vel.
Velethil, you've been chosen.
I don't even have my notes open for some reason.
Bam! Look at this. I got these amateurs. They stream 19 episodes and they've gotten all Hollywood Hulk Hogan on me. They're just jobbing in the ring.
I know what happened. I just want to pull things out for names.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we had arrived at the city where there was a lineup, a long line of cars, if you will, just trying to get through. The gates were locked. A captain had gone out on the night to go check on something in the forest, and we had to go find his lazy ass. Because otherwise we weren't going to get into the city until afternoon. So we did some tracking through the forest, found a cart and a group of brigands who had the captain tied up. Morgan played Hitman expertly and took out the one guarding the captain, and then we went full assault and murdered the shit out of the jerks. One got away. It's unfortunate. Sometimes there are survivors. But with that, we got the captain back up. We fixed the wagon for a woman who had to abandon it. For it to be returned to her with her wares. We brought it all back to the city and finally made our way inside. Shall I continue to what happened for the little bit of our in-game chat?
That is, yeah, if you want to cover that as well.
Okay. So we then headed to the Silver Tankard. Bucky flashed his wad.
That I stole from the bandit.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Those stealing things from our allies or our enemies from their whatever they leave around, that's fine. We don't judge that around here. Just not while they're directly looking. I did it too, Morgan. It's fine. Just not when they're watching. But we got a couple rooms. JJ has run away, so I can shit talk her. She... Oh, no, there she is. She saw another bard who was using just the minorest bit of inspiration to help their friend win arm wrestling contests. And so JJ offered to pay for someone else, and a halfling wearing a fancy belt, probably not magical, proceeded to break the other person's arm, and JJ just continued to shit talk these people even after they were horribly maimed. And then the halfling made off with all the gold. And I believe... I don't remember who ended up paying for that.
JJ did.
I did. Yeah.
JJ ended up paying for the broken table and a meal for the horribly brutalized person. So we might have some enemies there. And then Bucky went to get some information about where we could potentially find some shopping and where we could find some news. So myself and Bucky made our way from the inn after we had taken a short rest for everyone to ready themselves and get all the muck and disgust of travel off. And me and Bucky headed off to the, what's it called? The Public Archive? Public
Record.
Public Record. And we both spent a little bit of time looking into a few things. You're interested?
Go for it.
Sure. Bucky spent his time looking into the royal family of Silverhearth, information about them and their what's the word? Not regency. Their I've lost the word. Either way,
Lineage.
information about them. He looked for more things. A lot of it came up empty. I looked a little bit into some local news. Didn't come up with much trying to find out about the cities that were closer to, or the towns that were closer to the spire we're headed to. And I got a little bit of information about the city of Silverhearth and the king's relation to Bucky's precious tree.
Yep. That's about the long and short of it. So
Oh, what about the snake person?
I was just going to bring
No,
it
but
up
that
too.
doesn't matter.
Go right ahead, Bucky, if you want to explain your journey through the city. So we
That
can
was
just
looking for
handle
Colt.
it.
It's fine.
Conveniently left that out. We were traveling to the public record, and we came across somebody that was following us, and we tried to ditch them, but they just kind of stuck to us. So we decided to approach them, and it turned out they were a bunch of snakes inside of a robe, kind of magically held together somehow, and it seemed to want something from Bucky. It wanted the seed, which is what he draws his power from, and Bucky wouldn't give it away. So scuffled a little bit, and then the snake person retreated. So Colt, if you see a bunch of snakes, don't run away.
I'll kill him.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's a nice and calmed, measured response from Colt Honeycutt. To kind of clean it up a little bit, well, that is the general gist. Yes, the group of the Seekers of Galanti dispatched a number of individuals in the Westwood that were causing harrowing issues across the road for a trader. After recovering the captain who had gone missing from the Night's Watch of Silverhearth, they were given permission to return and were able to return most of the stolen goods presented through. A single stout individual, leaving their crossbow behind, escaped into the mists. The group did reconvene within the within the Silver Tankard, and yes, Vel and Bucky headed to a public works building for a bit of collected information. Bucky seeking any answers he could for the royal family, just to get a general gist of who they are and what they're about. Finding that they are a humanic family, and that the king is currently wed to a queen. They have a single son, 2 daughters, and with that they have stood this lineage now for a number of generations. Velithil spent some time looking over various stories and news scrolls on display. She, in fact, uncovered a bit about of old city planning, a blueprint showcasing the area of Autumnus and the town of Orin, far to the south. By what she could uncover in that, at some point, the city of Silverhearth and its people, its king, had plans to annex the area to the south and turn Flitwick Forest into a lumber source. Alongside these plans, Vel also noted various newspaper clippings in pressed glass that denote stories of resistance fighters unwavering in defending the land, operating out of Warmwater, the small town. The articles in the paper describe these defensive natives as unwashed savages and curse-ridden demi-humans. So, for anyone who's wondering, the long and short of that. On their way to the public works building, the pair did uncover, or rather encounter, a individual adorned in a burlap-like cloak that had followed them for several streets before finally being approached by the pair, and slowly coming to the realization that it weren't no fella in a burlap coat. Instead, it were a bunch of snakes posing to be a fella in a burlap coat. Through hissed whispers, the pair uncovered, or rather heard, that the creatures, or nest of snakes, were after whatever might be contained within Bucky. A seed or some sort, a source that Bucky heralds and says that it contains his power. Following these events, Velithil and Bucky returned to the Silver Tankard, the group able to enjoy a short rest. You can roll any hit dice, recover anything you might need for a short rest. Yes, Vel?
During this time is when I would like to identify the crosshairs on the crossbow.
Of course. As everyone settles in, so if you guys want to roll your hit dice, if you want to regain your abilities for a short rest, anything of that sort, update your character sheets on D&D Beyond or wherever you're keeping your tracking, you may do so now. Vel, you spend 10 minutes of your short rest casting the magical enchantments and reviewing the arcane auras of the crosshairs of this heavy crossbow that was left behind, this almost militaristic style weapon. You find that the crosshairs are imbued with a single magical enchantment, and this is known as the Crosshairs of True Strike. It very simply allows the user to cast True Strike.
Best cantrip.
The best cantrip. Anyone in the get in the comments, fight me, best cantrip. No, I'm kidding. It's the worst cantrip. almost more worthless than, I don't know, the original Beastmaster Ranger. Ooh, I'm kidding.
It would be fine if it was a bonus action.
You're right, it would be, but it ain't.
Yeah.
Because literally all rogues can now do this.
Yep, sure can. But they didn't go to magic school for 10 years to learn it. They were raised in the mean streets of Kazakhstan, learning about goblins, stealing robot parts on the back of pieces of shit. That's how they all learn it. I think that's where rogues come from, right? World of Warcraft? I don't know. All right, so that is where we will start for tonight, within the third floor of the Silver Tankard, after Bucky flashed a bit of coin, or a wad, as our reviewer so elegantly put it. Anyone who's a big fan of Recess, you always got to talk to Spinelli about her wad. With that, you all find yourselves, again, on the third floor, a very quiet, a very calm area of the third floor of the Silver Tankard. You have a suite, access to a suite for the day, as well as to a small room on the second floor. You all take time, gather your things, clean yourselves up, bandage any extending wounds, remove any filth or dirt or grime from your outfits, and make yourselves ready. After all, later today you have a herald of the King of Silverhearth to meet with, to discuss the reason why you've come. According to Lady Galanti, it is in no small connection in part with what she assumes to be the assistance required in exploring and otherwise dealing with the ongoing threat from King's Plummet. And with that, now you can assume as well, hearing it from the previous day and the previous morning, the broadcast from Montserrat in the morning, MMLR 660. Clearly there is a connection that is roaming across the land. You all find yourselves at a table amid a number of other well-spaced, adequately social distanced tables that are on the third floor. Much to the rowdiness and humdrum of the first floor that is more served to be a rowdy tavern, this seems to be a much more quiet and calming place for groups to meet, strategize, and plan out their time here in Silverhearth. With that, if there's anything you guys would like to do before setting off to meet with your herald, you have the time to do so now.
Morgan, I found these throwing knives on the bandit captain. If you want them, they're yours.
I will definitely take those. Thank you.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Sweet.
So what are we going to do?
Does anyone have anything they need to do in preparation? I don't assume we have much to discuss amongst ourselves about what we want to say to them. Just everyone be on your best behavior?
Oh.
Except for Rhythm.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Also, I can't hear Kareem.
Hold on, sorry, Rhythm died. I don't know what happened. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Come on, Rhythm. I believe in you. It's not happening. Rhythm went offline. I'm gonna kill this robot. Please hold.
Said I'm tired, dog. Y'all
Rhythm-
do stream without me.
Rhythm was like, nap 30, dog. All right, let's slide this over here.
Would you say it threw you off your rhythm?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Convenient that my name is the only one that comes after it, though, so you don't have to fix everybody.
Yeah, that is a fair point. All right. Well, for anyone tuning in tonight, tonight's stream is not brought to you by Rhythm because they're a bunch of pieces of shit. We use you on Monday nights. What? Shakes fist angrily as if it's the only thing that's being used on that entire robot. But yeah, that's fine. All right, so tonight will be a much quieter, more intimate stream with no background noise. So all of the eerie and irritable silences will be just encompassed and preserved forever in Twitch history. So moving right along, you all have yourselves in the area. Morgan, you take the throwing knives. But yeah, anything else you guys would like to discuss? You have that time now before you attend your meeting with the Herald of the King of Silverhearth. Rather, a
I
herald.
will say that this crossbow isn't worth too much. Spell that takes far too much time to produce effects that aren't that useful.
Do? What's it do?
Oh, it allows the wielder to cast True Strike, which just gives you a slightly better chance at hitting, which honestly we have so many ways to improve our odds as it is already, and it takes too much time. So I would think perhaps someone with a silver tongue may try to sell this for a bit more than it's worth would be a good idea.
Yeah, I could try, but I'm not too good at. I mean, I don't know if you want me to sell something.
Colt,
I mean,
I'm so proud that you are so confident after your role as captain.
that's over, right?
Well,
Isn't
that's
that
another
over?
thing I was going to discuss actually before we meet with him. We really should come to a conclusion on who is in charge, or if we want to always introduce ourselves as a democratic group where we're all equally given a say, but it seems most parties will likely assume one member of us to be the leader. And you don't seem to actually want that, Colt, even though you're not that bad at it.
It's not that I don't want it. It's that I've never done it before, and I'm real nervous. And Joel is real nervous about it too because he doesn't want to make the wrong decision. Whoever Joel is, that guy in the sky that tells me to do things.
Oh, you got a
You
deity
do
too?
have some mental problems.
No, shut up. I took my pills today.
The insanity that let him know about Joel.
Oh, Lord.
Fourth wall breaking.
Hello, everyone, and out there, I can see how you did that land. Boom.
I actually had a proposal depending upon who may be interested in leading our group. So this is what I want to know: is there anyone else who actually would like to put themselves as a candidate for captain?
1, 2, 3, not it.
I'll throw my hat in the ring just for fun.
Bucky, you're interested. Colt, you're.
I'm okay
You
with
are?
it if somebody wants to say that. I'm not gonna. I don't know. Just
Well, my
if somebody
my
else wants me to be,
suggestion
I'll be captain.
was actually going to be for the two of us because we have very different skill sets. It covers a wide range, and we're both pretty good in the field. Leading the group in different ways. I'm pretty good at formulating a plan. You're pretty good at leading the charge. So my suggestion was going to be we consider the two of us co-captains.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
That is a
Yeah, I'd like
terrible idea. Horrible idea. In fact, I would like to announce my candidacy for group captain.
And as you hear this, you can
JJ,
see
you're-
JJ's hair yelling at you.
JJ, your hair's speaking again.
He's got his own mind.
You see
Now-
the small tough wiggle. You hear, "For too long I have heard you're bickering, you're arguing, and not enough killing of people. I think
kill
it's
people
high
all the
time.
time.
I think it is high time that we
Because
need to
JJ
come
doesn't.
together and form a murder party."
I don't like your hair anymore, JJ. I mean, it looks nice, but I don't like the way
Well-
it's talking.
At least we know his platform.
We do. I think we did just murder some folks.
Specifically, you murdered no folks. It was very rude. I think more people need to die by the long ear's hand. I put forward that I am Captain Cult Leader, and we need to get a summoning circle of innocent people
and just slaughter them ruthlessly. I think we should build our team based off the principles and foundings of the Abyss, which is kill anyone I don't like.
I like this guy.
I'll take that as a vote. That is one vote for me.
All opposed.
I'm gonna oppose on that one. Sorry, JJ, about your hair going crazy and being cursed.
I'm also opposed.
What?
I also am opposed.
What?
I don't think we can just go around murdering people.
I think you just
Yeah, that was a
figured it
joke,
out.
Osler.
I assure you, you can, in fact, go around just murdering people. Wild
Vanessa,
animals do it every day.
You have seen how we act. You will get your body count in time. You're just going to have to be more patient. You should have made a contract that you agreed on a specific time frame, but you didn't.
They say that patience is a virtue. I do not believe in virtues. I believe in action. I believe we need to go on a murder spree. Down below, there are a number of innocent people that are ripe for the murdering. We go downstairs and we murder them. It is simple, and I can show you that my leadership is effective.
Look, they already do not like me down there.
Fine, you're out. You there, with the long pointy ears and the knives. You and I, let's go kill some people. He points to Morgan.
That won't get your contract filled, though.
No, but it'd be dope.
Not about it right now.
Not about it right
Ask
now.
me later.
All right. Well, those are my sentiments. If I am outvoted, fine. But I'll remember who outvoted me. Oh, in time. When I rise, in like 48 hours after my nap, you will rue the day. You will rue it. Rue it. Rue it.
JJ,
He slowly
please
slumps
do not
back into
feed
his hair.
him any spicy souls. He is going to crop dust us in vengeance.
I feel like maybe he did only make it for any souls that could just finish it out real quick. So
I'm sorry.
I mean, like a termite mound.
Didn't you say that you weren't going to do that to him again?
I might have.
You may have specified ants, so termites could be a good bypass on it, though.
Any sort of bug. I think he did say no lesser souls, so I'm not sure.
Well, he's very disappointed. We'll get him a cookie later and hopefully some souls. But for now, let's get back to amongst our group. Bucky, you had an interest in potentially being captain? Sell
Oh,
yourself.
well, I just wanted to make it interesting.
Just making it interesting, a good platform for leadership.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it works for some people.
Murder's a great
Kind of
platform.
sounds like a horrible decision. You know, just kind of shake things up, ruin the status quo. A lot of corruption might come out of it.
Got to have a place for the wild card somewhere. Why not the leadership? No, I think you and Colt should probably lead this group.
Is everyone else okay with that?
No.
Is that we have a nay from Vasla, who we have not even decided if his vote counts yet. We can decide that now. Is Vasla allowed to have a vote in our decisions?
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. Get him a vote. Well, who said that? Thank you. Whoever that was.
What if he's the tiebreaker? in those
No.
situations?
Ooh,
Nope.
No.
Nope.
JJ.
Not even okay with that.
big fan of tie breaking.
I'd rather have Chunkini roll over to whoever he likes more than have Vasler decide.
That's a good
Razna
idea.
gets that vote. I agree. Aja and Chunkini also get to vote.
I will challenge them in pitched combat.
Colt's frozen.
Yes.
Yes. The frozen cult returns. I actually like this. This is a good enough photo for the day. I kind of appreciate it.
Oh man, I didn't notice.
Flip it and send it as his contact photo.
Damn it.
Ladies, if you're out there,
Fuck.
look for this photo. This is the
Well.
face of love for Valentine's Day right here.
Fuck.
I like it. I mean, there's a lot worse photos that you could have gone with. Kind of looks
It's
like
really
you're like,
cold.
This is the
There's
worst.
a lot of cult in there.
it's a lot of cult in there. There's a lot of heart and spirit. I
worst.
dig it.
Topic of leadership, though.
Ugh.
Everybody loves a good redemption arc, but meh. I'm good with the duo.
I think it'll work best. We have Vel who just does what she wants, and we have Colt who levels it out. Can't pretend like you don't.
Kill everyone you don't
I
like.
kind of feel like we all do.
I can't focus with my face like that. I can't focus. I'm a very vain person, and I really hate that picture.
Oh, geez. Oh, there you go. Oh.
Okay.
But if you've some problem with some action I've taken in the past, please feel free to bring it up. I'm not opposed to discuss things.
You know what? I'm just done with my camera. I'm just done. All right.
You could reboot the camera and then put your hand over it so that it saves a black screen, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Or I could just make a really funny face or something.
You could do that too. All right, so
It's fine.
go into it. Is that the vote then? A co-leadership with Colt and Velithil. So yeah, so everyone in agreement? Yes, no? Aye. All those in
Aye.
agreement?
I
Hi.
All those opposed?
Nay!
Smiling.
Horrible nay. It seems as if the ayes have it. Vel and Colt will be sharing co-captain duties for the Seekers of Galanti. JJ, your hair twitches and you hear, "Ugh, I demand a recount upon my awaking. This was clearly rigged. And this is demonist. I want everyone to know that." And slowly your hair pattens back down into a nest.
She's gonna brush it down and make herself representable.
It goes straight, other than like one little lump, like near the inside of your neck, or it's just turning into effectively a dread at this point.
Orville's gonna lean over to Bucky and go, "So, what do you think about just calling them mom and dad? You think they'd like that?"
You should definitely try that.
All right, I'll try it.
Dun-dun-dun.
I was being sincere, Morgan. Have I done something to disrupt you?
No, I meant that in a nice way. Like,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
you don't take emotions into it.
I tried to
I-
be balanced about things.
I definitely take a lot of emotions in it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Well, wonderful. I think we're all ready to go and speak with the Herald of the King then.
Ba-da-dum.
Yeah, let's go talk to Harold.
Good old Herald of the King. Someone might want to explain to Orville what a Herald of a King is, and maybe the fact that his name is not Harold. But with that, any other pressing business before you guys head out, or that will conclude it. So you guys can realign your party structure.
Can JJ make sure that her coin purse is still on her real quick?
Sure. You easily pat yourself down. You find your coin purse right where it ought to be. Nothing seems out of place. You go through your pack. From what you can see, nothing seems to be missing. However, you do find something added. You find a small scrolled bit of parchment that is rolled up and written in common, saying your share is on its way.
Okie dokie.
Mhm. All right. Any other business?
Oh, I will Yes. Just want to inform everyone of the snakes in a robe that we ran into. Myself and Bucky. So keep an eye out for any strange happenings as we travel through the city.
About how many
It's
snakes was it?
It was a lot, Cole. I'm not saying it was
Probably
300, but
it wasn't 300. Sub 100. I'd say about 60.
yeah.
That's still a lot of snakes. Seems they finally found me. Sons of
They were
bitches
very
have come back
interested
to
in
finish the
Bucky.
job.
They were very interested in Bucky's seed.
Yeah, I carry the seed of the elder oak inside me, and I think you wanted that.
Oh, I
Bucky,
wasn't sure what kind of
What
seed
are you
were
watching in the
talking
background,
about.
Bucky?
Bucky, are you from Warmwater?
I'm from Flitwick Forest, which is right next to warm water.
Okay. The kingdom has had some issues trying to annex and take those forests in the past. So I doubt any
Yeah,
of us will be treated terribly grandly, not being humans in this kingdom, but I just think everyone
I
should be aware that we'll probably get some. Well, being insulted in court is a little different than being insulted on the streets. Just be ready for a lot of. Well,
So,
basically how I behave. Get ready for that from a lot of people.
right. So when I get insulted in the street, I punch them. I can't do that in court, is what you're saying?
Oh no.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And
Good.
Orville will
Also,
mutter
the
under his
Herald of the
breath.
King is an
Thanks, Mom.
individual. It is a title. His name is Sensen Lemire. Likely a lord. I don't know
probably a
that yet.
furbolg.
He might not
All
be a
right,
lord.
not Harold. Got it.
Forgot that he might be a furbolg. Let's go meet with him.
All right.
Yep.
So, the dual captains ready the group and of the Seekers of Galanti. You all collect your things, clean up anything you might have made a mess of in your suite, in your room on the second floor. In doing so, you all head down to the first floor, wave past Clarence Edmondson, the tavern keeper and owner of the Silver Tankard, and you make your way out the door into the very busy streets of Silverhearth. Much as before, as when you first entered into the city, you come into a full view, take a shot, a full view of the city out on display. Unlike Deerwood, you've come to find that there are a number of differences, a number of stark contrasts between the city and capital of the humanic cities of Silverhearth and that of your home city of Deerwood. Whereas you could be rest assured that most of the working folks back home are doing so for the benefit of, wow, double benefits, the benefit of the weavers chosen as a whole, and the process of standing steadfast against what remains of Artnum. Out here in far to Silverhearth, there is a bit more of, well, a lack of purpose, so to say, the easiest way to describe it. You find that there are a number of individuals that are both just curiously patrolling the streets, enjoying life as it comes. The talk of the city and its people tends to be that of the loud voice that had apparated and boomed overhead. Many people don't seem to have answers, but there are many questions and curiosities, much as to be found both among the standard citizen as well as to members that wear the insignia of the Guard of Silverhearth itself, especially even those among you with your questions. You all follow the instructions provided to you by the Lady Galanti, and with that, you utilize the parchments and documents provided to best find the King's Avenue. You head far to the north of the city, and you come into view of the large castled walls that keep the King's throne and his actual his castle within his own city, well guarded and backed into the Lake of Four Rivers. The city itself pulls back quite a bit into the area, and let's see here. No, I don't have it prepped. I'm not going to worry about it. I will share the map later. but you all make your way northward, and soon find yourselves within the area. Moving together as a group, you do note, much in the same way that Vel and Bucky had noted earlier this morning, that there is a hustle, a bustle, and very much traffic everywhere you go. There are a number of, well, interested people that certainly turn and more often than not stare at your group and the Seekers of Galanti as you make way. While it is not dreadfully uncommon for individuals to wander the city in armor and carrying weapons and having a sense of purpose within the city, it is rather uncommon, and you've noticed now as you've continued to wander throughout the streets that while there are other non-humanic races that exist within Silverhearth, they are in small spatterings at this point. Your group, mobilized and moving, seems to distress a number of people and inspire hope in others that see you cross the boundaries of the city. Let's see here. Yeah. Without delay, you all arrive outside of the large, kept building that stands built into the king's wall that exists outside of his castle. The building itself is adorned in lavish colors, denoting the royal family crest, as well as the prevailing purples and golds that make up the sigils and seals of the city proper. The writ of law is posted nearly every 10 to 20 feet along this wall, denoting the king's laws themselves, those of keeping the peace and those of respecting others for all that is being. An act of non-hostility and an act of acceptance among all those that would call Silverhearth a bastion of defense against the world outside of it. But also, you do note curiously that among the king's laws listed is a rather request at the current listing, and it seems to be a newly inked proposition that any appearance, motion, or notice of any giant-blooded individuals should be reported to local authorities for the monitoring and acceptance of all those who call Silverhearth a home. To that, you all find yourselves outside of this large post house, this somewhat meeting home that you can assume and have note of the place of business for Sanson Lemire. What would you guys like to do?
Does this look like it's like a office, not like a home as well, right?
Correct. It seems to be a kind of a large office building, but you wouldn't have any doubts that someone could live in here if it so pleased them. But the actual outside of it being built into the walls that guard the entrance to the castle grounds, seems to make it a place of official business rather than one that an individual might call a home or a residence.
Okay.
There's an air of proper to it.
I'll go to be the first to enter then.
Okay. You move up, you place your hand upon the door. You can feel a warmth envelop you. Go ahead and make me a charisma saving throw.
6.
6, okay. You feel a warmth kind of pulse through you and extend out from you to those within a close proximity. I need everyone else to make me a charisma saving throw. And we'll start here. Colt.
Was this against charm?
I believe it might be, actually. Let's see here.
I need to roll a second die then.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Is this against a magical effect?
It is a magical effect, and
okay.
Yes, it is a charm effect, specifically.
Oh, I got a 7.
A 7, even better. You've crushed the D. No, you still fail. So Colt, what did we get?
A 10.
A 10. All right. JJ, what do we get?
11.
11. Got it. Morgan, what do we get?
13.
Okay. Orville, what do we get?
Oh, here I come directly trying. We got a 2.
A 2, he says. And Bucky, finally, what do we get?
So I rolled at advantage for having magical resistance, and I got a 21.
Yeah, goddamn Demi. No, that's fine. So Bucky, you don't feel any change. You feel this small kind of warmth wash over the front of your form. For everyone else, though, you feel this eerie, almost peaceful feeling envelop you. You feel that as Vel places her hand upon the door and begins to open the doorway, there is kind of a small waft of fresh heat, this almost summer-like embrace, even though winter is fast approaching and nearly arriving within Silverhearth and the Lake of Four Rivers. But here, this door, this street, this time, this place, all seems right in your mind. The fires of hostility, argument, debate, anything that you might still having, any lingering resentment across the day's events seem to fade and wash away from you. You feel an eerie calm, a peace feel into your mind, as if you're ready to speak and ready to be heard and ready to listen. Less so that you might carry any lingering resentment with you through this door. Otherwise, no other effect. Vel, as the door opens, you can see the entrance of a small waiting room clad in brightly colored purples and muted gold tones. The room itself seems to have a large running table that exists within the center of it, and a number of chairs for meeting purposes. There are multiple listings and parchments that exist within the walls of this area, and they all seem to depict various news articles. They all seem to be made primarily of newspaper clippings that exist within Silverhearth as headlines, many of them with bright red pins that press them into the wooden planks of the walls of the office. Upon your entry, you do hear a ringing of a soft, almost dolorous bell that kind of doom echoes out and through, and you can see some motion from the back room as a door begins to jiggle. I assume everyone is entering?
Yep.
All right. So, as you all enter in, the door swiftly closes with a small creaking click behind you. Various lighting sconces erupt out to fill the room with warmth. You can smell this almost honeyed, scented breeze motion through the room itself, almost nullifying any scent that might be hanging on you from the city proper or from the streets themselves. The far door at the end of the building slowly opens up, and you can see a rather tall individual clad with, again, finery befitting that of the city proper, but with a pair of very brightly created gold round glasses sat atop a wide bridged nose, and two very heavy, almost cattle-like ears that point out in either directions. This individual cocks its head and leans down and walks through the doorway, seeming to take great care to not cause an unfortunate incident of collision with the doorframe itself, and strides into the room to look you all over. You see this individual. Actually, I'm going to move this to here, and then we'll shorten him later. Whoop. Whoop. A whoop. You don't get much bigger, but we have the hand. So you see this individual stride into the room, standing well over 6 foot tall, and kind of looking over each of you with a bit of a curious glance, and you hear, "Well, now that's curious. Not often I have a visit from elves and goblins. And I believe that's some rabbit of sort. Don't tell me. You are Galante's boys and girls, it looks like."
Yes, we are the seekers of Galante.
The seekers of Galante. Now that cannot be right. I know that can't be right. It's not a lie. I can tell it's not a lie, but it's not what she told me. It's not what I was led to believe. You see the figure stride into the room and approach towards your side of the table where you all are congregating near the entrance of this building, and kind of looms over and looks down upon each of you, almost with this inquisitive stare, this long, kind of faded, listless look in their eyes, and they seem to take you all in as if assigning a bit of measure and due respect onto each of you. You hear, "Let us start at a beginning. I am the king's, well, rather, a herald of our dear, sweet, lovely King Vansil of Silverhearth. Herald in his name, I am blessed with all of the authority to meet with representatives outside of the city and to deal with those who might arrive as chosen ones. I am known simply as Sanson Lemire. I welcome you to my post and my place, seekers of Gulanti.
I thank you.
You are welcome to such thanks. He looks over to the rest of you to see what your reaction might be, just from this.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that.
Hmm.
Thank you.
JJ's just gonna tilt her head.
What?
Orville's a little bit awestruck here. Mighty fine place you got here, man.
It is fine, but mighty, I would disagree with. You're... fighter, perhaps, but you carry such a rather interesting thing upon your hip. Your man here could easily destroy the door, tear down the walls, ransack and pillage, so I wouldn't particularly refer it to as mighty. I suppose it is fine, however. A curious thing. Curious indeed. Huh. Mighty. So, I am confused as to why you have arrived. I was told by your lady Gulani, or Gulanti, but there's no N in it. Curious. Regardless, to belittle the point or belabor it, I was told that her best was showing up for this, but you are not tall, and you are not powerful, and you have those among you who are not women. I had assumed that she would be sending the crown jewel of her chosen. This was, after all, a king's request.
Well, we may not be necessarily her mightiest, but she truly believed that we could handle this.
That word again. Mighty. There is a theme of might, of strength, of power that courses through your unwaking minds. Interesting. I do not mean to confirm, but if you are not the mighty ones, are you then her new best? These seekers that you call yourself?
I mean, we like to think so, at the very least.
Well, I believe that would do then. If that is what you believe, then I shall try to hold it as honesty until you've proven yourself otherwise. If you are her best, then I can't wait to see what it is that you're able to provide for my king and his kingdoms. Tell me, how do you find the lands of Ravon and the city of Silverhearth? Have you enjoyed our hospitality?
Yeah, it's been nice, I suppose. I mean, haven't been here long, but it's a very beautiful city you have here.
And the rest of you?
Well, aside from getting attacked by snakes, I think it's been pretty nice here.
Ooh, attacked by snakes. How curious. Where did this occur? I will report it to the guard right away.
On the way to the public record from the Silver Tankard.
So it would be likely in the path of the mess, then, would it not? The unwashed masses and common folk. A shame. Sending guards in there would only warrant undue hostility and unrest. Suppose you could accept this city's apology and make no further mention of this incident.
Of course.
I thank you for that. We will ensure that any damages you've incurred are met welcomingly and compensated accordingly.
Oh no, it's fine. I didn't. I was unharmed, thankfully.
Good. I would hate to hear of any rumor or terrifying story escape your lips in the future that might insinuate that the city is not a safe place for those who entreat it.
Well, I'll be sure to mark my words more carefully.
I thank you. And of you, small one, or you, half-elf, or you, jackalope, how do you find the city of Silverhearth?
It's quite nice. Thank you.
Quite nice indeed. Thank you for your apt review of the city, and for you remaining.
I'll agree that it was quite nice.
And little one,
I think it's a wonderful place.
it is truly a magical and wonderful place. Here in Silverhearth is a happy place, full of joy and peace and law. And truly all who call it home will never know a thrown stone and the pain across the plain of Eden. Of that you have my promise and the promise of the king. But I suppose, being the best of your lady, that brings you in to ensure that peace, does it not?
If that is why you have called upon us.
Well, no doubt you have some assumptions, and allow me to enlighten you as to why my king has reached out for any who would herald his calls. Alike we are in that sense. Please, have a seat. And he moves to the other side of the table after kind of calmly greeting each of you. You see the table itself shudders for a moment as he waves his hand over the top of it, and each of the chairs surrounding it slide about a foot or two away from the table to make room for you. He moves to the far end of the table and stands at the edge of his chair and waits for everyone else to sit before doing so himself. As you all make yourselves comfortable around this table, Sanson looks to you all and again seems to be evaluating the current situation. There is a very strong measure of calm that exudes from this individual, and it seems as if with that as well, his presence and the way in which he presents himself is measured in equal respects. As you all make yourselves accustomed at the table, he looks across the group and he goes, "Before we attribute, or rather begin our business, I find it best to provide that Silverhearth hospitality I had mentioned. Can I get any of you anything? A drink? A scone? Perhaps a lolly? Pop?"
I'm fine personally, but thank you.
No, thank
We do
you.
appreciate that.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
You got any fruit, if you don't mind me asking?
I have a fine selection of fruits just purchased from the local markets this morning. What might strike your fancy? There are a number of citrics that are pulled from the opal wood fresh every day. Might I interest you in one of the peaches of the grove?
Yeah, those citrics sound nice. Thank you.
Very good. I will have a small basket prepared for you. Just a moment, if you might excuse me.
Of course, of course.
Very good. He rises up from the table and slides his chair back and moves and goes to the back room and closes the door, and vanishes out of sight to go and prepare a bowl of fruit for Orville. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're waiting?
I don't have anything. Just kind of chill.
Easy to do.
Yeah. Wait calmly.
Wait calmly.
Like my emotions have been calmed.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, with that, you You wait for a few moments. Sanson returns with a large wooden bowl with a number of carved fruits in them. Primarily among them, a few, surprisingly, peeled and diced apples, pieces of oranges, peaches, and a collection of surprisingly small kiwis that don't seem to be ripe or in season, but still look quite delectable and otherwise should not be growing this time of year. He sets the bowl in front of you, Orville, and he reaches into the front of his kind of weaved outfit, this kind of lavish looking lavender dress, and produces a handkerchief emblazoned with the king's emblem upon the corner, and hands it in your direction and goes, "Here, so you might not make a mess of yourself."
Why, thank you, sir. And Orbit will reach up and ever so gently take it, fold it, and place it in his lap.
You are quite welcome. Might you allow me a minor personal curiosity?
Sure, ask away.
Thank you. How long have you counted yourself among the Weaver's Chosen?
It's been a while, ain't it? Huh. You know, I never really thought to count it.
Curious. Very curious. Thank you for enlightening me.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for the snack.
Might you enjoy it? They're very delectable. He moves.
Gonna go ahead and take a bite.
All right. You take a bite and it squishes. It's juicy. Each piece is of the highest quality. It almost is this overly sweet, but not punishingly so taste that envelops your mouth and very much just speaks to the quality of whatever is growing in the area. Sanson returns to the table and sits.
Is it juicier than one of those swamp bugs I ate earlier? Am I the only one that can't hear him?
Sorry,
You muted.
sorry. Yes, in the sense that the swamp bug doesn't have juice and that it has innards, it is entirely less crunchy and far more juicy, being a fruit rather than a bug.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So yes, it is. It is in fact way juicier, almost 1,000%. So I'll throw that quick math out there. You watch as Sanson looks across the table before sitting and says, "Might I return to my station and we can commence this meeting?" He sees many of you.
Is that directly at me?
No, he asked the group. He sees a few people.
I
nod
thought he
their
was
heads.
addressing Orville.
No. He asked the group in general.
Yes.
We'll give a deep nod.
Of course.
And continue chewing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He sits down and pulls his chair up very deftly towards the table, and he places his arms on the table. You can hear a small creaking as these kind of almost overly long, ill-proportioned arms from his Thorbolg heritage kind of elongate, and the clinging of this lavender cloth very much show that there is again these kind of almost monstrous features to him. There, while he is still humanoid, it is still another race of creatures that are not quite following in the normal path of the evolutionary scale that you might find humanity or elves or other basic individuals among the Realm Weaver's creations. He slowly blinks. You can see his ears twitch. He wipes the top of his nose very delicately. He goes, "So I believe we have an interest in working with you, so-called seekers. We have an interest, as you might have heard, in the goings-on of the plummet. Far to the southeast, there are reports of a tower that has erupted from the Earth's crust. However, I must apologize on my king's behalf for the brash and impatient response measured by the king's son. He has sought to it that this is to be his crowning achievement, that the, reclamation of the plummet is to be a bannered story in the history of his life, and will solidify his right as the next in line for the throne. We have called you out here under pretenses far unknown to your lady. We intended to bring about her services so that we may have those disassociated with Silverhearth investigate the goings-on and come to a determination as to the threat of this, but especially following this morning's announcements, there are a number of those who have now sung the praises of the Prince's impatience, in that he was swift to take action before the threats began to rain down. But might I be direct with you?
Of course.
Please do.
If you can keep this in confidence, I was the one who proposed that we reach out to you adventuring types. I saw that there was a, need for those strong of will and grit, and those who could prove themselves, and I had heard a number of stories, remarkable feats, coming from your lady's home. I have not heard of your seekers, so I am rather disappointed, I must openly say. But to this I am excited at the prospect of you all proving yourselves as heroes and chosen. It is rare that my opinions are welcomed in court, and it is rarer still that I am believed for what I know, and that is to say that I know a fair many things and a great number of secrets that occur within the city and its lands. Chief among them is that the broadcast this morning, or rather speech, was not the first one. No, I have heard it now for several days, several nights, whispered like crickets in the midnights. And yet others have not heard it, have not even picked up on it, and I am unsure as to why. Until recently, I had assumed I had gone mad. Mad indeed. Apologies. I do not mean to dwell on that, but being that the prince has been quite, adventurous in his own right, your services at the plummet are currently not needed. However, your budget has been approved. So if it is all the same, I would like to personally fund an endeavor of research and a quest that I might impart upon each of you to fulfill in the king's name and under the permission of myself as a herald of his court.
We were summoned here in your service and name, so it is the task that you put forth before us that we shall endeavor to complete for you.
Very good. I merely wanted to be open and honest with every aspect of this. I know that weavers chosen according to records and according to the bards are oft those individuals possessed of a greater purpose, possessed of a desire to prove themselves, filled with the might and vigor imparted upon them by the graces of the realm weavers, and I didn't want you to be disappointed that you wouldn't be the first ones into the fray or on the front lines of whatever dangers might occur at the plummet. I instead would hope that this action or task that I impart upon you instead be met as a bit of a dual-bladed promise to my lord, that my idea is a good one, and that your prowess is unquestionable, and should the prince fail in his objective or be forced into a retreat, as I very much Well, I suppose I shouldn't say I doubt him. I think the prince will accomplish what the prince will accomplish. I suppose that is better to say. But irregardless, I would seek that you use this as an opportunity to strike back at the prejudices labored upon myself, my station, and those who do not count the pure blood of humanity in their veins, that we are more than just allies, that we are not vagabonds in the king's mercy, that we have purpose and strength, and we are not like the giantkin that once roamed these lands.
If you don't mind, could I ask what's up with the giant kin? I saw a notice, pretty fresh written out yonder.
Yes,
Have there been ongoings?
my apologies for speaking over you. That was rude of me. Well, to speak on it, the giants at times have historically had an issue with the dominion of our good king. While he has founded much of the East Ridge itself of Ravon, and taken dominion over all that he is able to surveil from the towers in his castle, there have been times in the south that there has been conflict, and there has been times from his family's history that giants once claimed Ravon as their own homeland, that of the realm of rocks and plains of earth, their birthright, or so they claim, their collection, or rather ordning, of leaders once bespoke it to the heavens that the realm weavers created Ravon just for them. And the progenitors of humanity spoke and said that, no, the realm weavers gifted them Ravon, and that it was by divine right that they reclaim it. This has created quite a hostile environment, and as of recently, the prince's messengers have returned to the city, speaking of large ogren-like individuals impaling the earth with black spires and darkness, tainting the land with foul necromancy and unknowable hatred. And it has caused concern to many that these actions are not singular investitures of their time, but instead, we assume, to be preparations for a much larger act of war. And as now we have heard what I have heard for so many days now, it is confirmed that whatever this being is, while they might be to the benefit of giantkin, it is clearly an enemy of humanity, and an enemy of those who call Silverhearth their home. So, should you see a giant, or those who herald themselves of giant's blood, and are not civilized folk, report them to the local authority, if you would be so kind, so that we might establish and hire a hunting party to bring them under heel.
What about civilized giants?
If you find a civilized giant, I should rather like to meet them. I have heard that they eat children, and they separate parents, that they bring nothing but murder, destruction, and hatred in their wake. Have you met a civilized giant?
Well, we ran into some rather polite fellows, according to Orville.
Rather polite.
They spoke very, very well for being ogres. We encountered them on the way in at a crossroads.
At the crossroads. I assume you mean at the bend before Hasram village?
Is this accurate?
Yes.
Then yes.
Very good. I thank you for this report. And
Of
I
course.
ask that, do you have an idea or inclination where they might have headed after your encounter with them?
I know they said doot, 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 doot. They headed south,
Headed
according to my
south?
notes.
Well, now that is peculiar. Depends on how far south they go, I suppose. Well, little one of the Seekers, I thank you for this report, and clearly I was not misled. You Seekers are as good as your word. A thanks for this information that I might report it to our authorities and send word to Wren's Fork to keep an eye out for these individuals, these horrible individuals.
Orville would also like to get in the description of these folks. I don't have much in my notes, but I know they had a crest on their shirts, if I recall correctly.
Primordial.
What was that, Val? You cut out a little bit.
The crest was written in Primordial. None of us could read it, but we did identify the language.
All right. Go ahead and add that to the details for the report.
He takes this in. You can see his ears twitch, and he kind of looks at you with a very blank stare, as if he's deep in thought. But after you finish your speaking, he kind of shakes a little bit, and you hear, "Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for the description. Allow me to compensate you for this information." And he reaches into his robes and produces a platinum piece and sets it on the table in front of you and slides it with one of his arm, again being rather long. He stretches it across, and you can hear the kind of scraping of platinum against this wooden table as he puts a bit of force into it and leaves the coin in front of your fruit bowl. He goes, "We will be sure to investigate this accordingly."
Of course. You're quite welcome. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank me indeed. Thank the king. He has funded this endeavor and these baubles that you will be granted upon completion of this task. So, being that as it may, I can see that you are trustworthy and able to impart information which is useful to me. I think you and I will make for splendid confidants. Tell me, are you all familiar with the steam fields?
I'm not particularly familiar with them.
I'll do a history check.
Sure.
See if I knew anything in particular.
Hey, can JJ's
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
11.
11. JJ, what do we get?
less than 11?
Less than 11. All right. The pair of you kind of like think it over. You've heard the name Steamfields before. You know that it exists to the south end at the very reaches of Ravon and the kind of domain of the King of Silverhearth. It stands between the kind of outer edges of the plains themselves and the beginning of the crossover from Lake Loria, as well as the river that runs through the land. The Steamfields themselves are comprised of a marshland that has a number of intersecting rivers that bleed out from the southern lands and down the many mountains. They are considered to be a natural heat source and very much so create a dense fog that is actually scalding for many people. It is said that, from what you know, or at least you've heard of, the lands themselves are very volatile and contain a number of natural gases that make traversing them very difficult, and it has proved to be the main reason historically as to why the king has an issue occupying further south of his domain. Many of his troops have to pass through the steam fields to take kind of a foothold in the area. But while it is a beautiful natural defense against incursion from anyone southward, it is also a huge detriment for expansion southward for the King of Silverhearth.
Yes, I'm familiar with them as a particularly difficult and heated terrain to travel through.
Hmm. Well, you are intelligent, you are insightful, you are scholarly. Good. You will need these tools. If you are aware of the steam fields and the dangers that they comprise, you know that they are also the nearest connecting thing from our Lord's domain and that of the savage demi-humal races to the south. I'm sure many of you might count friends and family further south still, but his eyes kind of meet with Bucky. He goes, there are those who do not stay southward, and there are those who instead move so far north.
No,
Do you need a lozenge?
that's okay. Please continue.
I will, thank you. That being said, our king has found this to be a point of pain in having to deal with this area. Reports emanate from the south that the people of Wren's Fork had entreated your lady's previous less than best chosen, and it is why we specifically requested the best this go around. If Wren's Fork could muster these static chosen, then certainly we would get the best chosen from the same house to accomplish this task. I believe their job was to seek and disrupt a number of jeweled counterfeiters that could sneak and move across the steam fields. We surmise and suspect that their intervention coincides with the recent events out of Keen's Plummet. Now, we would never accuse your ladies chosen as bumbling such an event that might cause cataclysmic repercussions across the land, but it seems far too curious that this all occurred at the same time. We were made aware that one of these counterfeiters sought the steam fields as a bit of cover to escape. I would simply ask, if you are so inclined, to go and find this den of thieves. While they were operating out of Wren's Fork, my lord wants assurances that whatever foul machinations exist within the steam fields and are used to mask these ne'er-do-wells are uncovered, brought to light, and sought to seek the king's justice of law. Is that understood?
Beg your pardon, but you want us to clean up the mess that the static left, if I'm hearing you right.
I would
Sorry.
never suggest that your static chosen created a mess. As far as the king is concerned, and as a herald and speaking for him, there is no correlation that we would dare suggest that the Lady Gulani elicited this destruction and plague upon our lands. It would be ill-fitting for a king to dote on a noble woman in such a manner, especially one with a reputation as well-groomed as hers. Simply put, the king, or rather myself in this endeavor, would like to have assurances that the steam fields are no longer home to these ravenous counterfeiters, and that whatever trade goods they are smuggling are brought to light and justice is served. The incident at Keen's Plummet continues to preoccupy the prince in his questing, and I do believe, again speaking rather frankly, that if I were to deploy you all in the steam fields and you were to make quick work of what remains of this operation, you might be in a poised position to then return via the northern plains of Irden, and you would just so happen to cross paths with our dear prince as a bit of a, well, intersecting happenstance. I think overall that might be best for everyone involved. What say
Yes,
you?
I understand your meaning.
Good. So might you have any questions of my expectations for your group? And how soon can you make yourselves ready for this endeavor to the south?
I have a few questions of the circumstance. The steam fields are a vast area. Is there any information to where these ne'er-do-wells are more likely to be?
Unfortunately, we were not informed, or rather enlightened as to their whereabouts, but being that you're less than the best chosen managed to root out their whereabouts from the denizens of Wren's Fork, I assume that the best seekers chosen will be able to do the same.
Of course. It is just good to have all of the intelligence before entering into a situation.
Well spoke. Intelligence is often taken for granted. Those who lack charisma to speak intelligible words are often misunderstood. Wouldn't you agree?
Indeed.
Other questions?
I
I
mean,
suppose my only other question would be pertaining to these small pillars that have been appearing in the fields. We saw them on our travels here. Have there been any studies conducted into them or their removal?
Well, officially I cannot say one way or the other. I can, as a herald of the king, tell you that we are doing everything in our power to investigate these strange occurrences, and by the prince's own volition, these objects are being treated with some of the highest priority in the kingdom.
I understand.
Good that you do. Further questions as to what I expect, or what the king is expecting of you?
Not for expectations. My next question would be for preparations.
Yes.
We came here with a trade group which will be going about returning their business, so we do not possess of our own means at this time, uh, wagons or carriage or horses to make our way down. Will the king and his kin, your office, be assigning us this, or shall we procure our own?
Well, the king at this time does not see the point in prepaying for any services that a chosen faction might incur upon the completion of such a mission, but in keeping with the accordances and promises of Silverhearth hospitality, anything that you might attribute to a work expense, so long as you save record of this in some manner or form, I will ensure that you are compensated for any expenditures.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. He looks across the table at the rest of you. Might anyone else have questions for me?
Yeah, can I get a to-go box?
A to-go box? You may keep the bowl if you so choose.
Why, thank you.
You are quite welcome. How did you enjoy the fruit?
Oh, it was delectable.
Yes, it's almost as if it sings with every bite. That the flavors of the forest and the opal wood, as these glistening jewels to the east, envelop all of your senses all at once, wouldn't you say?
I would say yes.
Yes. Do you want to know a secret?
Ooh, I like secrets. Do tell.
The flavor you're tasting, the delicious, overwhelming ripeness, the perfection of each of these fruits was made in no small part by historical successes. The opal wood itself, there are a number of histories that exude from it, but there is something they will not tell you on the street, and there is something that the farmers will never admit. But I had come to discover it not long ago. The opal wood is derived as a large graveyard of giants. Their blood runs through the land and creates the most wonderful and glorious trees that bear the mighty fruit that you now delect upon. Should you ever come into contact with the opal wood, I ask you, dear little one, to keep an eye out for a very suspicious purple fruit. Historically, and in rumor, they say that these purple fruits are the nesting of giant tears collected into a beating heart. It can be quite delicious, and are said to herald on a legend, one who would again rise up in Ravan and grasp the moon in their hands. Should you find it, little one, perhaps I won't be calling you little one for very much longer.
Well then, that is something I will have to go looking for at some point. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Very, very interesting.
Might I ask for a secret in return? Something you've gained on your travels, no doubt?
Like one about me or something I know.
Oh, quite anything. There are so few instances that I get to speak with a member of the goblinoid races, so your history, both yourself and your red companion, are rather curious. So too few opportunities exist to learn of your lore, of your history, of your heritage, belief structure, or how you entreat the Realm Weavers themselves. Anything at all that you hold as a secret, I would very much take in exchange for what I have just told you. A story for a story.
Well, I suppose I can give you a secret, but it would have to be after everybody else is out of here.
Oh, that's not cool.
Something you don't trust the others of your group to know. Truly, this might be a juicy secret that rivals that of the truth of the opal wood. I accept your terms, little one. I will look forward to your secret at the end of this meeting. I have such bated anticipation. Now then, might there be any other concerns about your needs for this venture? No.
I have no more. Does anyone else?
I don't. I mean, I think everything's pretty clear.
Very good, then. As was agreed upon with your initial summary, you can ensure to your lady that her previously negotiated rate for your services, as for what was precluded to her, are still held in high regard. You may inform her that the collection of diamonds and jewels that she had negotiated will still be paid in full upon the completion of this task. As mentioned previously, I can only
request that you deal with the, as you so eloquently put it, mess left by your predecessors. But if you are so inclined as to earn the favor of a herald, please do find your pathing to wrap you around the Middle Hearth Mountains and past the northern area of Keen's Plummet. Yes?
Yes, I believe that will be the most opportunistic path to take.
Very good, then. I am glad that we are in agreement. If there is nothing else, then you may leave and begin with this task, and upon your success and proof that this counterfeiting operation is truly put to rest, then I will have your lady's payment awaiting for you upon your swift return. If you would be so kind as well, please ensure the door is closed completely on your way out. The last visitors refused to reset it, and thus I had to deal with a rather uncouth and haughty individual coming to complain about the smell in the lower wards. It was annoying.
Very understandable. I thank you for your time. We shall handle the situation immediately.
Very good. And do take your care in this instance. I would hate to have to explain to your lady about how you all vanished under mysterious circumstances. That is to say, so many things can happen to you in the city and these lands. It would be a shame to have to report back on that.
Of course.
Of course. Be well, seekers of Gulati. Be well, and keep your wits about you. Keep your eyes open and your ears to the wind, that you might hear the secrets that the land has yet whispered and bespoke to others. You all are a collection of people who are not like the people of this land. It is your opportunity to prove that a bloodline is much more than those who are counted among history's records. I look forward to your success.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your time. He waits for you all to stand, and upon rising, he finally, he kind of like shifts a little bit in his chair and just keeps a measured eye on Orville, as if patiently waiting for the rest of you all to leave.
I guess that's our cue, folks. That we'll be
I'll
right
be out
outside.
shortly behind y'all.
All right.
As we leave, I'll make sure the door is properly shut.
Sure. Waiting by the door until Orville exits as well. Yeah, the group exits. Orville, you stand near the doorway for this room. Sanson looks to you and goes, "So then, let's have it."
A little bit of a secret. That red fella, Colt, he's absolutely terrified of curses. You need him to get anything done, you can just cast a message on him and be like, "Ooh, I'm cursed. Do this, and you'll break the curse, and it'll get done. 1, 2, 3."
Really now, he is motivated
yeah.
by fear?
I don't think it's so much fear as it is curses. It's very specifically curses.
Is it now a instance that this is a bit of a jest? Or might this be, well, a true paranoia for this individual?
I mean, he thought he was cursed, went and sought out some sort of holy person, had them sorted out, and I think from what I think I overheard that he's still got one lingering on him, and he's always looking over his shoulder. So I think it's real.
Huh. Now that is a delectable secret. He is motivated by his fear of curses, you say. Is that correct?
he performs better when there's the threat looming over him?
You might say so.
Well, now that is rather interesting. How about you and I come to an agreement that you, little one, will be the one to keep this cult, did you say, in check?
Yeah.
Well then, very well. Let us come to a small agreement. He reaches into his pocket, he rifles through, and he produces a bit of paper and parchment. He clicks an actual pen and begins to scribble something on the parchment, and then folds it in half and produces a stamp and some ink, and stamps the small folded parchment in half. And he goes, in the event that he needs an additional bit of motivation, should we say, I would like you to hand him this and have him open it.
Yeah, that can be done.
There you are. And he as you like grasp the other end of the paper, he holds it firmly and looks deep into your eyes and goes, this stays between the pair of us, but should you have to use this stick to keep him motivated, then trust that you will be well compensated for its use and utilization, and you and I can share in a laugh together.
Sounds right by me.
Oh, very good. As he's still holding the paper, he brings his offhand up, and you can feel these kind of like furred fingers touch the side of your cheek. He goes, there are so many things I wish to know about goblins. So many things I know so little of about your history. I look forward to your return, little one. Might you speak more secrets to me, and I to you.
I look forward to coming back here, sir.
Mm,
Been a pleasure.
yes, and do come again. It is a pleasure to have you. He releases the paper.
Give a little type to the paper.
Yep.
And make my way out the door.
All right, you exit through. As soon as you exit, Vel clasps the door firmly closed, and you guys stand on the outside of the area of the Herald of the King.
So hey, Orville, what about that secret you told our friend? I wouldn't say it like that.
Colt looms over like the biggest hobgoblin bully to any goblin in history. Give me your fucking lunch money.
Let me open that door. I got a few secrets I need to let go of. Something about goats and shit.
Goats and shit. Jesus.
I know he doesn't like goats. I remember that.
Seems awfully pointed.
And thus the group fell apart.
That's disaster.
No, it's fine because I don't know what's happening. But as soon as I find out, you better watch your back, little guy. All right? That's all I'm saying. Watch your back.
Hey, man,
Okay.
I'm a little guy. There ain't much back to watch, yeah.
No, you're right. You're right, but you better watch it. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all. Hey, I never said I was gonna do anything to you. Just watch your back. You know. I'm just looking out for you, for your health.
The Seekers of Galanti are brought to you by New York City Comic Con and Brooklyn accents like you.
Forget Cousin Joey's Pizza Place.
Yeah, Cousin Joey's Pizza Place. Get you a slice. Forget about it. With that, we're nearing 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and take a break here before the Seekers decide on how they want to progress in the story and complete this task given to them by Sanson Lemire. We'll be back in, let's call it 10 minutes. It's 8:56 on the East Coast. So we will be back roughly at, 9:06? That sounds right. Yeah, that's how math and time works. We'll see you guys shortly, and we'll be back soon. Bye-bye. Hey, there we go. And we got it in one. Oh, except Rhythm is back. Son of a mother. That's the thing I forgot. I was like, yeah, we're good. No, we're not. Whoop, no. Fix that. No, that's a bad rhythm. There we go. Look at them buttons. We're gonna press buttons and move cameras. That's what we came to do. Hey, there we go. Forget about it. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Let's see. I'm unmuted. Thank you. Yep, you guys are unmuted because I can hear rhythm. Cool. Thank you guys for sticking with us through the break. As always, we really appreciate it. I appreciate it personally whenever you guys are able to stick with us throughout the broadcast. It fills my heart with the most warmth I've ever had in a Monday. Just to see that so many people think what we're doing is cool enough to check us out. So yeah, nothing on break. Just a reminder. At the end of the stream, so 10, 11, whenever we finish, probably closer to 10, most likely, I'm going to be pulling a list on Discord after we do our raid of who is subscribed to the channel. If you are on the fence about subscribing, the big benefit is if you subscribe now, when I pull the list, if you are subscribed and you're on that list, you are entered into a chance for a drawing this. I think I'm going to do it Wednesday. Wednesday sounds cool. You're entered into a chance for a drawing from the group of Second Wake to our Twitch channel to finance up to $100 in artwork by the artist of your choice. So we will collaborate with you in whatever artist you want to seek out to, so long as they can invoice or whatever. If you send us the invoice, we'll finance up to $100 of it. So yeah, it's our way of giving back for everyone who's stuck with us the long haul. If the subscriber I pull is one of our players, I will cover them for their artwork, and then I will still pull a viewer because I think that's just in fair due process. So yeah, fate be kind to me. But it's a funny the way. So yeah, that's just a reminder here. Reminder as always, if you can't stick with us through the end, the video will be available up on YouTube shortly this week, depending on how busy things get in the week. But typically I've been able to get them out and live Thursday morning at the latest. So just keep an eye out for it. The VOD for Twitch is available right away, but we do sound mixing and I do cutting and we shorten the episodes down a little bit. So there's a lot less dead space and thinking. Makes us feel like we're on a script almost. There's no quiets. There's no awkward quiets. Yeah, so if you don't like the edited versions, there's available for Twitch and the VOD. Again, we are on Instagram, so Second Wake DND on Instagram if you want to follow us there. We'll be posting, I think we've posted character artwork, and we've posted Chunkini artwork, and we've posted, I think like a story or something. It's just something else to help promote what we're doing here on Twitch. So yeah, it's going to be just D&D related. I think that is all I have. So, before the break, our seekers met with a herald known as Sanson Lemire, or Lemire, however you want to pronounce it. He pronounces it Lemire, who had tasked them not with investigating the plummet that is now including, or rather enclosing, a large blackened spire that is said to have grown from the earth, but instead looked to clean up or confirm that the static had done their job. Rumor had reached the king's ears, and certainly the ears of his herald, that Wren's Fork had been home to an operation of counterfeiters. These counterfeiters have, according to the static and according to the people of Wren's Fork, been severely and deftly dealt with. The static, as many will remember, had confirmation of this being the case. However, they had assumed everything went to plan as they had chased the individual through the steam fields, and the opening of some unknowable thing on that person resulted in what many assumed to be the beginning of this strangeness in the air and these various now booming voices across the day and morning, these black spikes erupting with foul necromancy and darkness across the land. So, being that they are seekers, they are weavers chosen, they are declaredly the best that the lady of their home could provide. The Herald has tasked them with investigating the location of any remaining counterfeiters in the steam fields, and as a personal courtesy and favor, because he would never openly admit that the prince is not going to be successful in his endeavors far to the east, that the group take the more precarious path back to Silverhearth via the far east area and lands surrounding Fort Pale and those connecting areas. And that is where we left. The group exited from the office of the Herald of the King, and now stand in the streets of Silverhearth, mission in hand, quest objectives updated, but travel and accommodations not yet discussed or planned or accounted for. At this point, you all stand in the open streets near the castled walls of Silverhearth, near the castled keep. You have closed the door. Orville has exchanged a greeting of secrets between the Herald and himself, secrets that are for him and him alone to know. And man, Colt, your complexion is coming in great, buddy. I like it. And with that as well, you all have the kind of the reins in this almost open sandbox you find yourselves in now. You have your goal and what you want to end up doing. However, how you choose to go about those things are yours and yours alone. What do you all want to do?
Well,
I was a little tipsy. Is it cartoons? Is that what I'm hearing, Bucky?
Yeah.
I just hear a click. She's a little tipsy. I'm like, all right, well, people getting drunk on the street, we're doing it. All right, go.
wow, that mic's sensitive, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably go back to the inn, the tavern. Discuss private.
Yes, I have a couple suggestions of what we should do, but the innkeeper will likely be able to direct us to where I think we should go next. So let's head back.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, easy to do. You all make way back through the main thoroughfare of the city. You note that as time has passed, you are now nearing a little bit into the mid to late afternoon. The sun beats heavily over your heads, and you can feel a cool breeze wash through the city of Silverhearth. The, again, winds of winter emanating from the area itself. Move the map back up. There we go. In doing so, I need, let's see here, we'll pick someone at random. I need Morrigan to roll a d12, and I need, let's see here, Orville to roll a d100. Morgan, what do we get for your d12?
I got a 9.
A 9. And Orville, what do we get for your d100?
We got an 84.
84, he says. Well, gorsh, Mickey. Let's see here. All right, yeah. So, as you all return and exit back on the streets of the town, you have a looming presence, a feeling of uneasiness wash over you all as you head further south down the main thoroughfare. A individual kind of jogs up alongside of you. You can hear the clinking of metal underneath a very heavy looking tabard robe. You can hear, "Hail, well met, friend. Friends, I should say. Might you all allow me an opportunity to speak with you?"
And whom might you be?
I am, well, I suppose it's rather rude to ask someone's name without giving your own first, wouldn't you say? Not
Rather
very.
presumptuous to ask a group's time without introducing yourself first.
Well, I suppose that's all fair, but in due process, you all may call me Wayland Enright. A pleasure to each of you. And let's pull him up here.
What was that last name?
Wayland Enright. Enright. Let's see if it opens correctly. And wham! This guy.
That is a mighty fine mustache, sir, if I do say so myself.
Well, I do thank you for hearing such things of me, my good red friend, or soon-to-be friend. I grew it myself and have polished it and pruned it with the finest oils available to us in the city here. You can see, in fact, the coif in my hair. Yeah?
Yes. I don't have such a coif. I've grown mine out, though. But
Quite.
I hope to maybe. What?
I said quite.
Okay.
It's immaculate. For what you have to work with, certainly you have provided the best fruit available in the garden.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes,
It's very nice of you to say.
So I've done my introductions, and you all? Might I borrow you for a spell in exchanging of words? Who might you be?
We're,
Important.
Clearly.
Yep.
Not wrong.
Well, I'm Colt Honeycutt, and I'm sure everyone would want to introduce themselves. I don't know if we want to say our team name or not, but yeah, go ahead.
Brother Thildowenberg.
You can call me Buck.
I'm JJ.
Hmm.
I'm Big Or.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me Morgan.
I shall certainly endeavor to do so, calling you all by your names, which I have now committed to memory, and will never speak again. So, might I beseech you for just a moment of your time, a few questions, if you might indulge me?
Wait, do you work for the press?
No, I am not a humble servant of the written word, my good sir. I am possessed of a bit more purpose in this world, you might say. Something rather curious. That's all. I'm a man of curiosity, yet I have not killed any cats, so I think I'm doing quite well. That's a joke.
All right. So, yeah, go ahead with your questions, I suppose.
Oh,
We'll
we're-
try to
we're-
answer them.
A bit in the road, wouldn't you say? Might we speak further? Maybe just up ahead. There's a wonderful little tea shop. We could sit a table up and speak as civilized folk. Yes.
Or how
Perhaps if you
about...
tell us,
Oh, so, go ahead, I'm sorry.
perhaps if you tell us the nature of your inquiry, we'd be more apt to join you for tea.
Well, the nature of my inquiry has everything to do, well, quite frankly, with you all. It is rather curious to find individuals possessed of such well-equipped and adorned armaments walking through the city of Silverhearth, visiting in places unknown to the common folk, and strutting around as if you have a sense of purpose. Truly, I just find you remarkable, and I would love just a moment or two of your time, and in exchange, I would happily ensure that your time is compensated for post-tense.
I'm gonna roll an insight to just
Yeah.
kind of get a read on what his intentions are.
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight.
Can JJ do the same?
Sure. Go ahead. Roll insight.
Does insight say this dude's a fucking cop? If that's what I want to roll.
You want to roll for cap?
Yeah.
Okay. Orville, you're a level 4 monk, right, with a criminal background.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll a d20 plus 4 for roll for cop.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
That's a 24.
A 20. You rolled nat 20.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll get to you in a second, Orville. JJ and Vel, what do we get for insight?
I got a 16.
16, JJ? No.
10.
10. Okay. You you JJ, you're kind of like, this guy's just very forward and flattering and chock full of charisma. Vel, you get the sense that like he has a very above average interest in your group. He is genuine in how he speaks and his mannerisms, while a bit flashy and over the top, are still with the full intention of putting people off their guard. It's more to make people like, oh, this guy's just a joker, blah 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 blah. You definitely get the feeling that he is a well-trained speaker. And the persona that you are meeting is the one he is allowing you to meet, not the one that he probably is.
Okay.
It's not so much an act, so much as it is a technique that he's employing. Orville, with a nat 20, you look this individual up and down. You can see this red kind of coif cloth underneath, these brass fittings along a very heavy-looking kind of traveling cloak. And you can see the shining of well-groomed and polished armor underneath his traveling cloak. And along that, and along the inside cuff of his coat, you can see this long wire of brass that runs the length of it. You know that to be typically the component for a message spell. You have to pull this piece of wire and speak into it to cast a message. You also find it very curious. His armor is far too polished to be walking around armor. It's almost not parade armor quite per se, but there definitely is a sense of him that you get that heralds him as something more than just a common traveler or individual. You look him up and down, you sniff the air, you lick your lips, you think to your time on the streets, and this is the kind of guy that smiles as he's putting the cuffs on. He's probably with the local authority.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, we're buddies
buddy
now.
Guy.
Yes,
buddy
sir.
guy, man, person.
Whatever you say there, friend.
Yeah. I got eyeballs, and you got something in your sleeve. So if you have any further questions, you can just go talk to Lemaire yourself. Have a nice day. We're leaving.
Oh.
And Orville will spit at this man's feet.
Well, that is rather rude, but I would expect no less from a demi-human. Does he speak for all of you tall folk, or is he merely possessed of ignorance and hate? I would dreadfully hate to have to issue a warrant for questioning.
Oh, I see how it is.
I was just going to say we should probably just give him a moment of our time, but if you all don't trust him, seems like a fine chap.
Well, I trusted him until he said demi-human, like a racist.
Oh,
Yeah.
good friend, I am no racist. I merely uphold the principles of Silverhearth. We founded this land, cleared this land, and drove most of these races out, and we've invited you back. To be a demi-human is merely to be a step away from the divine right of things. I meant no offense, merely just to acknowledge your station. There are a number of perfectly capable demi-humans in the world. I do not mean to belittle you, good sir.
All right. So suppose we don't want to go to tea over there on that side of the street. We want to go meet on the other side of the street somewhere that you may not have folks waiting for us. That'd be all right with you?
Ooh, now you're getting a bit spicy in this Inquisition. I enjoy it. Thank you so much. Surely you can pick the place, the location. I would even hand you anything I might be carrying on me that you might consider a hostile weapon. I have no fear from you, Mr. Honeycutt.
I was gonna lean in and be like, "Hey, Colt, that wire that he's got, that's probably letting other people privy to our conversation. That might be a weapon, right?"
I mean, I don't know. Is it? Can I see the wire? Would I be able to see
Orville will point it out.
Yeah, as Orville points it out, you actually see Enright kind of like open his traveling cloak a little bit and point to the brass wire that runs the length of the top button down to about the middle of his chest. He goes, "Oh, this? Merely a precaution, I assure you. Yeah, you may take it." He kind of like unhooks it from the top button and pulls it off and hands you this, like, again, it's a little piece of like copper wire, and he hands it to you. Because please, take it in good faith.
Which one of y'all magic folk knows what's going on with this?
just a simple communication thing, Orville.
I mean,
Maybe JJ will look him up and down. A human, and we may be different, but there's no harm in answering a few questions, to be honest. At
Yeah.
this point, we're in their city.
yeah, I agree with JJ. Maybe he's not. I mean, he is authority. I don't know how you feel about that, Orville, but I think we'll be fine if we answer a few questions, and maybe there's something in it for us for answering your questions and stopping us.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, I do not intend to harrow your journey. Merely, I want to compensate you for indulging in my curiosities. Who did it? Oh, Morgan. Morgan, come back to us.
Am I back?
Oh, God. All right. So he
Folding crash.
he looks over the group, goes, so, please lead the way if you're not excited about the tea shop that I would recommend. There are a number of other stores, or perhaps just an alleyway. I'm not picky. I just, again, I have a vested interest in your activities in the city and would very much welcome a friendly interaction between my station and your congregation or group.
What is your station?
Oh, well, I don't like to put a title on it per se. I just say that I am possessed of a bit of inquisitive look. Merely a passerby with a bit more, I don't know, authority than your average common man.
Oh, I get your meaning.
I'm working just the same job as you all, I assure you. We're all on the same side here.
Where do you want to go, Colt? I thought the tea shop sounded lovely.
It is quite lovely. There are lovely flavors.
That'll be fine. We can do the tea shop.
Oh,
I mean, at this point, if we're going to talk to him and he's going to pull something funny, it don't matter where it is. So, all right. Well, go by the beat of your drum, sir, so lead the way.
all right. Well, I don't mean any offense. And he turns and looks to Orville and he goes, might that be all right with you, good Sir Goblin?
Orville ain't saying nothing.
Right. Well, it is your right to remain silent, so please come along this way. And he turns and leads across the street.
That doesn't help.
In doing so, he ventures not more than probably 10, 15 feet from where you guys were walking anyway. You see this very nice kind of shop that's built right on the main road. It has a small, about thigh high to maybe like waist for some people. To Orville, it's like upper chest. But it's like an open gate area that just makes a beautiful looking patio with marbled tables and small kind of carved chairs. He walks up, opens the gate, and walks directly to a table that already has a tent stating reserved on it. He picks it up in his fingers and crumples it and then puts it into one of his pockets. He goes, look here. There just so happened to already be a table reserved for such a wonderful occasion. How lucky are we? Please have a seat. Might we start with a round of jasmine? It's a personal favorite of mine.
How convenient.
So convenient. The city, you will find, is a rather convenient place for all those who call it home.
Orville's going to take a good look under the table.
Sure. You look under the table?
Yeah.
There's 3 cops under it.
Orville, what are you trained in? What are your skills?
We got history, insight, medicine, religion, sleight of hand.
Okay. You look into the table, much the same as the top of the table. It's beautiful marble, but as you look it over, nothing outward or protruding that you can tell.
Gotcha.
Are you okay, or do you want someone else to take a look around? It's a bit suspicious, I'll admit.
I mean, if you want to take a look around, I ain't going to stop you. I just had to check for myself.
JJ will look around for Orville as well.
Okay. What are you trained in, JJ?
We got acrobatics, athletics, deception, history, insight, intimidation, investigation, expertise in perception, expertise in persuasion.
Okay. Look over the, you kind of check the underside of the table. You look around, you run your hands under the bottom, you run your hands over the top. Seems like a marble table.
You're clear. Or
I'm gonna.
I'll take a seat.
All right, Val takes a seat.
I'm gonna do the one thing I guess I would. I'm not trained in anything, but I'm gonna look for like any sort of vantage points for snipers, crossbow snipers, like soldier shit, like just like
Sure.
looking around for any sniper nests.
Yeah. You look around. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Colt. Are you trained in perception, by the way?
No. Oh yes, I am.
You are? Okay. So yeah, go ahead and make the check.
That's gonna be a 12.
A 12. Okay. You take a kind of a cautious look around. You check the roof. You check the passerbys. There's a lot of humans around here. Any one of them could be a sleeper agent in disguise waiting to ambush you. Your paranoia starts to set in a little bit.
It's already had.
That was the first quirk I got, so I gotta. It works being a soldier, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Just flashbacks to goblins getting killed by fireballs.
You'll have to forgive
They
my
were furbolgs. They were
companions.
Oh, nothing to forgive. Truly, if you weren't so cautious, I'd be more put off. But truly, please, let's have a seat. Do we reach a decision on the jasmine? They also have a beautiful lilac that is just absolutely to die for. But, well, it would just depend on what you're in the mood for, I suppose.
Wouldn't mind a spiced rooibos.
Oh, okay, a bit of a connoisseur. Certainly, we can have that prepared. And he looks around, and as he starts making, he kind of like flicks his traveling cloak back. As he does so, you can see around his belt that's revealed a longsword and 2 daggers on the other side. They are gilded and bear the sigil crest of the city upon their hilts. Oh, there we go. And he sits down and snaps his fingers twice in the air. And most of you don't even see where this person comes from, but a kind of an employee of the restaurant immediately arrives. He goes, these individuals be having tea with me this afternoon. Anything they want is covered under my tab, if you could have that done. And yes, of course, sir. And turns by and starts taking your orders. He goes, please, help yourselves, anything you might want. We have most known flavors here, and they... Again, I must insist, if you want, they do a beautiful honey tea as well, with fresh honey, made every single day and preserved quite well. Truly, just a spoonful of it really helps the back of your throat when speaking or yelling. Soothing.
I think this guy's a tea salesman.
Probably a pretty good one then. And I'll turn to the server and give her my order.
Okay, she takes your order easily enough. Anyone else?
Do y'all have coffee?
Ate a french fry, I don't know why I did it. The server nods and she goes, yes, we have a number of roasts. Would you like a dark roast or something in a summer variety?
Do you have just regular coffee and whiskey?
He as you say this, the wait staff goes, I can get you regular coffee, but unfortunately we do not have alcohol on the premises. And as they inform you of this, you see your gracious host kind of look out and go, whiskey. Oh, I should have known you were a whiskey drinker with that armor. We can have whiskey made for you. Yes, you certainly have something in the back. And they go, no, sir, we don't have any. Don't worry about it. I'll get it taken care of. Mr. Honeycutt, nothing is too good for you, my friend.
No, because I feel like you're going to get me on some kind of public intoxication charge here, so
No,
I don't want to
no.
drink anything.
I wouldn't dream of it. I merely want to procure you your whiskey. If you don't want to accept my kindness, it's rather rude, but it's your right to do so.
I just don't want you to go through the trouble. It's not worth it. I just
Oh,
rather
goodness.
just have some regular
Not
coffee.
a trouble at all, my friend. He turns and looks over into the street, and he raises his hand and tilts twice. And you see just a regular person who is walking the street that blends in with the crowd approach and kind of lean over the small kind of fenced area. He goes, Mr. Honeycutt here would love a spot of whiskey in his coffee. Could you procure that whiskey for me? And here, yes, of course, Inquisitor. Anything you need. He goes, fantastic. Thank you. Be quick about it. And you see the individual kind of like fade off into the crowd with a bit of a huff. And he turns back to you with a smile. He goes, Mr. Honeycutt, that whiskey will be ready for you momentarily. And truly, if my man is as good as I know him to be, it'll be some of the greatest whiskey you've ever had.
I mean, I don't. Okay, I've only had one type of whiskey, but yeah,
Oh,
it's just whiskey.
I would
think
I would not sully your palate with whatever hobgoblin whiskey you're accustomed to on the road. This will be of the finest spirits, I can assure you. We have fantastic crafters here within the city. Decadence.
We call it Clam Hooch because we make it in clams, so it's just, we call it whiskey. It's not really whiskey, but it's Clam Hooch.
Fascinating.
Mr. Honeycutt,
What?
just ask me instead of making that bullshit.
This is before I knew you. I didn't know. There ain't nothing wrong with Clam Hooch. Ask Orville. He's had Clam Hooch. It's a goblin, hobgoblin
Oh, that's
tradition. to have
great,
some
I'll
clam
tell
hooch.
you.
That's the quote for tonight.
Clam hooch.
There ain't nothing wrong with clam hooch.
Ain't nothing wrong
There's
with clam
nothing
hooch.
wrong with Clam Hooch.
Something too good for clam hooch? Oh my goodness. All right, so anyone else have any special drinks they want to order?
Could I get sorry, something started echoing in my head. Could I get a black tea with some of that honey? But could I get like 10 tea bags by themselves?
10
Of what
tea.
your like fruitiest tea is?
Of course, I'd be so happy to do so for you. Tea bags. Yes, you can accommodate the young lady, can't you? And the host kind of like looks over and goes, well, normally we wouldn't just serve the tea bag separately, but anything for you, sir. And he goes, wonderful. Look at that. Look how accommodating these are. This is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Silverhearth. Truly, this cafe is remarkable. I can be quoted as saying that. This is my favorite. And they go, thank you for your kind words, sir. He goes, you're welcome. Anyone else?
I'll just take a plain black tea.
A plain black tea? That's 2 black teas. Are you following it? I don't see you writing. They go, yes, sir. I have 2 black teas, a coffee, the young elven woman's drink. We're quite good. It's very good, very good. Sharp mind on you. I appreciate that. And Mr. Buck or Mr. Orr, can I get you anything?
Mint.
Just a mint or a mint tea?
Mint tea.
There we go. Mint tea. Do you have that down?
Obvious.
And they like tap and they go, yeah, yes, sir, I have that as well. He goes, and finally, or big or, might I
The
get you?
lilac sounds great, thank you.
Lilac it is. You have those orders? He goes, yes. He goes, I will, of course, take the juniper. And he goes, yes, sir. Right away, sir. We'll have that piping hot. Good. Now run along. He goes, yes, sir, and darts off into the cafe. He looks over. He crosses. Waylon crosses one leg over the other, and kind of puffs his chest out a bit and goes, "Oh, I love this time of year. You can feel the cold emanate out from the north, and you can almost feel that precious purity, devoid of any dwarven corruption. It's truly a magical time of year, wouldn't you say? What all do you? How do you find our fair city?"
Rather impressive.
Yeah, it's nice. It's real nice.
Always good to hear. So, if you might, well, indulge me, I just have a quick number of questions for your group, and then we can all be on our way and at ease. I think it would be best if we just answer as openly and honestly as possible, wouldn't you say?
I agree.
Very good, then.
Of course.
Oh, yes, of course. So, I suppose the first thing might be is where do you all hail from? I don't recognize your faces, and I make it a habit of knowing anyone who comes through the front gates, more so anyone who rescues one of our knight captains.
Uh,
Well,
we're from Deerwood, sir.
Deerwood. And might that make you mercenaries or chosen?
The
we're
latter.
chosen.
Chosen. Might I ask, who do you call your noble? Who is your benefactor?
Are you making a profile on us?
No, I wouldn't dream of the sort, Mr. Honeycutt. But if one were to make a profile, this would be rather interesting information, now wouldn't it be?
All right, let's get this over with. We're with Galanti. Our name is the Seekers of Galanti. We come from Direwood. We've been here for, what, a day? We saved your captain because we heard he was in trouble and we was trying to get into town as quickly as possible. We're not here to cause any trouble. We're trying to accomplish a mission in which Galanti sent us to do. I'm 39 years old.
Are you actually
What
39 years
else?
old?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am 6 foot tall, black hair, amber eyes. I have scars all over my body. I'm also a hobgoblin. And I used to be a soldier. So I think that's the gist of your profile. Do you need me to speak closer to the wire this time when I say it?
Well, if you do, then you can hold it in your hand. You took it from me.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't you need to hold on to it to do the magic stuff with it? I don't know how this works. Here, have this back.
He takes it and just puts it on the table in front of him. He goes, I don't think it'll be quite necessary for that. This is more of a precaution. They make us wear these days. I'd prefer not to if I could avoid it. So, with that, I do think you've surmised a number of interesting topics to discuss. Being a soldier, that must bring with it a number of curious instances. How did you find the chosen lifestyle from your, no doubt, vagabond mercenary company?
Yeah, I wouldn't call them vagabonds, but I mean, we just got into there was just a bit of an abusive relationship with my last captain and did some regrettable things that I don't care to share with anyone. And Galanti, the only person I've shared that with, knew about that, and she took me in with open arms. I was lost and didn't know what to do with myself as a soldier that had left his company.
So tell me then, Mr. Honeycutt, truly a remarkable story. I am fully at attention here. If that's what brings you by to being a chosen, what brings you to Silverhearth? You said you had a job to do, and I see you leaving the office of Mr. Lemire. Rather curious, in fact, that demi-humans would visit the only demi-human herald.
Well, he is a herald to your king, and our business, I'm sure he wouldn't want us to discuss openly, just as your king may not want that information discussed openly, and I'm sure as an authority you can respect and understand that.
Oh, certainly respect given as it is earned, I assure you, Mr. Honeycutt. What say the rest of you? Might there be something that you are possessed of? Something that you find purpose in doing while you're within the area of Ravan?
Only the tasks laid out before us by Mr. Lemire.
Rather good, I suppose. And what makes you qualified for such tasks?
We are a variety of skilled individuals who have found our unique traits and knowledges to be beneficial to each other, and in this we have proven to Our Lady and to others we are the right people for jobs like this.
So your lady believes in sending the handicapped to do these tasks. He gestures to your missing arm.
Any belief that this is a disability to me is only your assumption.
Very well. I build a number of things off of assumptions, as I'm sure you will be quite aware of. Oh, and he turns and looks, and there's a serving tray placed in the middle of the table, and tea is served to everyone. He goes, look at that, piping hot and delicious. And he, like, the cups are set in front of everyone. Yes, Bucky?
Bucky uses shape water, like under the table to make the Inquisitor's tea cold.
Okay. You cool his tea. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand for that.
Shape water do that?
I think I can make something cold.
Yeah.
I know prestidigitation can.
Let's see.
That's an 18.
18. Yeah, you can
freeze
freeze water.
it. Yeah.
So an 18, you slide your hand under the base of the table and kind of mutter to yourself. The steam emanating from his tea slowly dissipates as he looks on and everyone else. And he goes, oh, yes, thank you. Absolutely well prepared as usual. And the server goes, might there be anything else? He goes, no, wait here. We want to enjoy it all at the same time. And we will not drink until Mr. Honeycutt's whiskey arrives. We must ensure that everything is perfect. I want this to go as smoothly as possible. I have a reputation to uphold. And you see the server go, of course, sir. And they grab their serving tray and kind of put it kind of defensively over the front of them. In just about a minute or so, an individual returns with a very large, well-corked bottle of whiskey and sets it down on the table, kind of reaches through the small, kind of thigh-high gate that makes up this patio area and sets it down next to the Inquisitor and goes, your whiskey, sir. And he goes, very good, and in record time, I will put you up for accommodation, my dear friend. He goes, thank you, sir. He goes, off with you now. Thank you. Like a fly on a wall you need to be. He goes, of course, sir. Thank you, sir. And goes and walks away. He looks over and he smiles at Colt. He goes, now this is going to be much better than that clam hooch you're used to. Of that I assure you, my friend. And he goes and twists the cork and unpops it, sets it down beside him and smells it. He goes, oh, you can just sense the flavors dancing. Yeah. Please. And he slides it towards Colt. He goes, indulge yourself, my friend. The entire bottle is yours to keep.
I mean, do you have a cup?
You have a cup in front of you full of this coffee.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'll pour like a little bit, just like a little splash in there.
You put like the tiniest of splashes and he goes, moderation. I can appreciate that in a man. Just enough to have fun, but not too much to cause issue. Very well indeed. I'm learning so much about you, Mr. Honeycutt. I do appreciate it. Now then, with everyone's drinks in front of them, with everyone properly done, let us drink and enjoy each other's company. This doesn't have to be so cut and dry and formal. We can cut loose and have a bit of fun, can't we? He takes his cup in his hand.
JJ's gonna take 5 and 5 of the tea bags and 2 jars of moonshine that she has in her bag, and she's gonna put 5 in each jar.
All right, you unscrew these jars of moonshine and dump the tea bags in there. You just see the Inquisitor like eye you rather curiously. He goes, strange, so strange, but interesting, full of culture, rich heritage. I'm sure there's a story there. Yes.
Sure. Honestly, sir, do you have any direct questions?
Well, of course, but please, first, let us enjoy our beverages, yes?
All right. I'm going to pass the bottle to Bucky. You want some? Bucky?
Absolutely.
All right.
Bucky, are you doing a splash too, or are you doing like a tilt?
He's just gonna tilt it.
Okay, like you're watching like the line where it's at, it just starts filling up, and you get to like surface level, like water level of the cup, and you like stop and you're like, perfect. He goes, now that is a man with some hair on his chest, literally. Hair everywhere else too. Good for you. Well then, to new friends.
Cheers.
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 He goes, and everyone sips. Your drinks are immaculately made, fresh, warm. The hint of whiskey in Colt's drink and the 30% whiskey in Bucky's drink sit heavy and robust. The flavors dancing across. You can feel the burn, but it's a very soft, almost encroaching burn. Again, very well distilled and overall made whiskey. As he sips his tea, you can see him almost keep it between his pursed lips before holding his cup. And the server kind of leans and goes, "Is everything all right, sir?" And he slowly spits the tea back into his cup. He goes, "When I asked for fresh drinks, I had assumed that included my drink, and it would not be cold. And you hear, sir, when I brought you the drink, it was warm. It might have cooled due to waiting for the whiskey. Do not make excuses. My man brought us this whiskey as quickly as possible, and I will not be embarrassed in front of my new friends and associates. Now, will I?" Goes,
It's
"No, sir."
really not
embarrassing
an issue.
yourself
I could
already.
heat that for you.
No. This is a point that we need to address. I will not allow my favorite cafe, my favorite restaurant in all of the city, to serve a subpar drink to me, of all people. And you see the server go, "Yes, sir, I can remake it." He goes, "Of course you will remake it. And you will make it better than it was before, now won't you?" He goes, "Yes, sir, I'll have that right away." He goes, "Very good, off with you. I can't stand to look at you any longer. Send someone else to bring me my drink, in fact. You failed me this day." He goes, "Yes, sir, I'm so sorry." And he darts off. And he kind of looks at you and goes, "Terribly sorry about that. Is everyone else's drinks fine? Do we need to remake any other orders? It is so difficult when they have these new hires and amateurs walking around the area pretending to be competent."
Mine's delicious.
Well, I should hope so. Some of the finest whiskey there you're drinking.
No problems here.
It's very good. I'm still hoping we can kind of move this along and get to the questions that you were going to ask us, or what the point of all this is.
Of course. Well, the point is, again, indulging my curiosity. You're not under any official investigation, so to speak. I merely saw an inconsistency within the city, a group of individuals who are not well possessed of a number of attributes that I would consider to be, well, normal for the city of Silverhearth. A travel and arrival that is mired in mystery, without many people to speak of, arriving in the company of kobolds and guided by an orcish woman. Truly, there are a number of remarkable things in your tale that simply, well, they simply owed an explanation. Hearing that you are seekers, or so-called seekers, and weavers chosen at that, it truly does help to ease my mind a bit. I am, however, rather curious, as I was under the misguided assumption that the city would be sending in weavers chosen more renowned than yourselves, and I can't say that I've ever heard of you.
While our name may not be well known yet, our exploits have begun, and those who you assume to be the best gems, well, even they make mistakes that prove that they aren't. And otherwise they'd be here.
I suppose that would be true. Again, multiple condolences on behalf of myself, the city, and our good king, that any trouble has befallen the house of your good lady. It is, again, as you have seen here in this cafe, ever so hard to find good help these days. And truly, if your gemmed friends are no longer apt and able to perform in their tasks and duties, then I do understand that they would send you all, these seekers of your good lady. And to that I have a curiosity. What have you done that I might speak well to my superiors? What has made you who you are today? What can you count among your accomplishments that might impress those who were expecting your predecessors?
Do you want me to take this?
No, I have an answer. You just aren't going to like it. Because, unfortunately, we can't really speak.
I'm aware.
What we have done is in the privacy of those we have served in the past, and I can only assure you that they are of the highest regard.
Hmm. Now that is interesting. Rather interesting in sort. And you see immediately a very well-groomed and tall individual with bright blonde hair and a kind of matted beard that is with large silver rings comes through. And you hear, "Your tea, sir." And reach forward and goes, "Oh, Francis, I do thank you for personally delivering this. I apologize for mistreating your waitstaff. However, they served me cold tea, and I know you're a better man than that. This is a better building than that, and I have a vested interest to make sure you are performing and your staff is performing at the best it is able to do." He goes, "Of course, my lord." And he goes and sets a small saucer and tray in front of the Inquisitor. He goes, "Please, have a taste and make sure that it's everything that you need." He goes, "Of course." He goes and takes it. Do you guys want to do anything? Or do you want to fuck with his drink again? Or do you want to let it happen?
Wait until he.
Bucky, you're gonna get this whole shop closed.
No, I'm
Guy's
gonna.
the Grand Inquisitor or some shit. Come on.
I'm gonna wait until he takes a sip, and then I'm gonna shape water it into his face.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check for that.
See, if this campaign was fun, let's all enjoy our trip to jail.
We going to jail.
No, we're not. I'm throwing Bucky under the bus. He's going to jail.
So 13.
A 13. You see him go and very slowly begin to rise the cup to his mouth. He goes to fit the saucer between his lips. You kind of begin to move your hands under the table and begin to whisper. And as you do so, you feel a gloved hand slap down hard on your shoulder. And you hear, "Now we'll have no more of that, will we?" And you see a figure clad in the finery of the city, and kind of grasps the kind of upper bicep of your casting arm that you're working the somatic components with, and stops you. And you can only smell smoke and sulfur from the step he took to close the gap between you. He goes, "Your first one I didn't see, but that one, clear as day." And you see the Inquisitor kind of curiously look around and sip his tea. He goes, "Quite good. Thank you. I'll not be having the rest of it. I'm actually quite full and not in the mood for tea." He looks to you, Bucky, and he goes, "Now, why would my God have to stop you, good sir? What is it that you're doing under the table other than playing with yourself?"
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a lowly demi-human.
I think you do pretend and put on airs in this instance. Mr. Honeycutt is a rather well-regarded soldier by his own accord. Certainly you are something special as well, I would say. Let me see if I can do the guesswork for me. Presented by the symbol upon your hand, I can only assume that you are from a forested area, being that your heritage and cloud coverings of your skin tone, as well as the color of your fur, I can assume you are a southern-born satyr. You are a satyr that has no regard, yet an affinity for magic, and you do not seek, or rather hesitate, to enact against authority, so I can assume you are a rebel. I can assume you left your rebellious home, seeking grander things. Of this, I would assume Flitwick, most likely. I think I might be in the neighborhood of that. You left seeking something you could not find there, and sought adventure and likely so many indulgences that are provided to you by the great mercy of my king. Your ability to travel far to the west has availed you the title of chosen, yet I would very much wager a stack of coin that you are a bit of a running joke in your own home. Please stop me if I've hit an incorrection, because the table has not stopped me from spreading these truths to you.
Oh, I was waiting. I was going to interrupt you because that's a little uncalled for, sir, and rather rude to go and do that. To go and microanalyze somebody. Doesn't matter what he was trying to do to you. That's very hurtful, and you asked us to this meeting. Now, I find that very disrespectful, especially for someone in your high regard to do.
Now there is a man that has a good head on his shoulders. My apologies, Mr. Honeycutt. I meant no offense. I merely wanted to reciprocate the respect that I was given by your good Sir Buck. Apologies for souring the mood in your drinks. That'll be
Are
all.
we done?
Yes, I think that is all I will need from you. You are seekers. You are of the house, of a noble lady. You are chosen ones. And again, you are not on any official investigation. More, I wanted to allow myself a chance for proper introductions and avail you of the knowledge that my patience is rather thin. I like things to run exactly as they are intended to do, with no shenanigans or buffoonery. Do not make yourselves the fool lest I treat you like those who are inept of knowledge and thought. I'd hate to rob you of such freedoms you are so promised. Keep your hands to yourself and cause no harm, and we will have no trouble between your group and myself. So long as that is understood, I do thank you for all of the questions you have answered and the rich history you have provided unto me. Truly, just the allowance of your presence is a gracious honor, and truly, welcome to Silverhearth. I will be excited to hear what the bards have to say of your travels. That is all.
Well, thank you for your welcome.
Mm.
Your greatness, Inquisitor.
Oh, please. You're just as great in your own regard in the smelly sacks that you call a military.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fun thing,
Well.
Mr. Honeycutt. Before we leave, and I would love to address this as well, my father once fought against hobgoblins. I hear that you are militaristic in nature, yet while you do avail yourselves of the finest weapons and armor that you can humbly put together, I hear that your skill with a blade is lacking. Savage, in fact. Should you ever wish to have a gentleman's arrangement, I would welcome that honor in pitched combat.
I don't swing my sword for your enjoyment.
Mm.
When I use my blade, it's to protect those that I care about. I'm sorry that you feel that you need to create a wager or some kind of game over utilizing a weapon for protecting people and something that can so easily hurt people. You've told me a lot too, Inquisitor. I may not be the smartest. I may be a lowly demi-human, but I am accepted in the North. Maybe I'm not accepted here, but it don't mean shit. Because I'm here to do a job, and then when I'm done, I'll leave your gates, and I'll leave you alone. All of us will. So I'm gonna see my way out. I'd say till we meet again, but I hope we don't.
And for your hope as well, I do hope that you don't have that pleasure. Just know there are eyes upon you, and many people are watching what you do. It's as simple as that. Well, the gates are open and welcome to those who profess heroics. Those who are an unknown element in the city are people that must be viewed, measured, met, and hopefully kept on their best behavior. Yes, Colt, to speak frankly, do agree that such measure and regard of using a weapon to determine honor and privilege in the city is a bit barbaric. Of that we both agree, but I think your misunderstanding is what you and I agree is the definition of people. Be on your best behavior. My men are watching. Have a great
All
day.
right. Hey, Bucky, can I take that bottle from you?
Hands it back.
Here, you can have this back. Tastes like piss anyway. And I'm gonna stand up and walk away.
All right. Colt walks off.
Yep. Bucky walks off too.
Oh, I'm right up there with them. Let's go.
All right.
Thanks for the tea, Inquisitor. I'll
And-
just leave.
Anytime. Have a great day. Thank you.
I finished my tea and set it down and looked to him. My apologies, Inquisitor. They don't deal well with authority.
Mhm.
I should hope that we don't rouse your ire any further.
I believe my ire has always been the difference between those that follow the rule of law and those that are professed of chaos. I can see that you are a logical sort of some renowned. Truly, if that marring that you so wear as a badge is not a detriment to your abilities, then I wish you and your group the best of luck. Truly, you will need it in these lands. They are tamed, but for your types, I do fear for you. Be well, and I hope that you had an enlightening experience here. May you keep your foolish friends safe.
I shall do my best, but you can see the handful that I've been dealt.
Truly one requiring both hands indeed.
That joke was better than the first.
Thank
With
you.
that, I will give him a little bow and leave.
All right. And he just looks and he locks eyes with the last person at the table, which is JJ. Because
Thank you very much, sir. She's gonna take her things, pack away her jars, and follow everyone else up.
all right, yeah, you stand and pack out. He goes, "Be on your way and have a good one." Also, without a liquor license, I hope you don't sell that.
No, that's mine.
Just making sure. Have a wonderful day. He kind of gives like a soft wave. As you guys walk through, you see that outside the front of the cafe, a number of people are all just kind of standing there, not at attention, but with like newspapers, books, other implements under their arms. They all kind of watch as you guys exit the area, and they turn in and stand at attention to the Inquisitor. He goes, you can hear like a boastful voice. He goes, "Now that was fun, and they said that they would have no manners. I loved that. Tremendous." And he walks by and goes, "Come along, men. There are ogres to unravel the secrets and locations of. Let's go." And he starts kind of like heading off, and many of them all kind of salute and follow him northward towards the King's Keep. For the rest of you, though, you are left to return back to the inn, to the Silver Tankard that you had rented your rooms at, and you arrive without further delay. As you all arrive back within the Silver Tankard, you reach the third floor where you have a reserved table in the privacy of this establishment. And up to you guys. Anything you guys want to do before we call it a wrap? Bucky first.
I want to get in touch with Helsa if she's around and get my tree.
Sure. She has yet to check in with the Silver Tankard.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit later in the afternoon. She said she would be with you guys most likely by the evening when she's wrapped up the delivery of her business.
All right, gotta get that tree back.
Poor Lamont tree.
I wanted to go to the front desk and inquire about 2 locations.
Sure. You head down to the front desk. Clarence kind of looks you over, still kind of looking over his own establishment. The majority of the morning rowdy crew has left the first floor, and now it's just kind of like casual day drinking and a number of day laborers that are getting off of work or early errands and now enjoying a bit of drink before they retire for the evening. And he looks you over and he goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, I will find that our group will be likely heading out in the morning. There's a few things we'll need to take care of before that, and I was wondering if you could give me the direction or location to a postal service or those who can send long-range messages, and a stable or place where we can procure wagons and horses.
Well, let's think here. And he starts kind of like polishing a cup as he does so. Let me pull up the thing here. There it is. All right. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So he thinks it over and he goes, "Well, your best bet is going to be, as far as for communication, is going to be up to the far north on the eastern side near the meeting of the river. It's called the Crossing as an area. There's a wonderful establishment of interconnected postmen that handle a number of comings and goings. My personal recommendation, if you have the coin for it, is going to be the Lightning Telegraph. They tend to have the best way to get the word out, should you have that. They also handle a lovely publication. Truly, they'll probably be your best go-to for that. As far as for horses, anyone outside of the southern steppe on the walls of the city might have horses or things of that for trade or rent. Being that winter is upon us, they might try to allow you to purchase the horses wholesale so they can be done with them and not have to feed them throughout the coming months. Otherwise, you want to head to the few frontiersmen in the far east of the city, deep within the forest. It's the King's Crossing, known as the Opalwood Expanse. That area has a number of farmers and the like that raise cattle. You might be able to find a few people that would be able to trade with you for horses.
Well, thank you very much for the information, and I will take out 2 gold coins as a tip for that and slide them across to him.
He looks at the 2 gold coins and has these large eyes. He goes, yes, and I apologize. I had failed to mention as well. I'd be more than happy, and he slides the coins into you can hear a clinking of a bucket underneath the counter. I'd be happy to have one of my staff run any message or errand you might need, so you might save yourself if you are weary from your travels.
Oh, well, I may take you up on that. I'll discuss it with our group. Thank you very much.
Very good, and may your stay be welcome. Do you all need additional blankets or pillows of any kind?
Oh, I think we're okay for now. The room's lovely.
Happy to hear it. Thank you so much for your business.
Thank you.
He kind of nods off and kind of returns back to staring at the thing. Anyone else? Any final business before we move on and call it a night?
So once the group's all back together, I want to apologize for losing my temper on that guy. Everyone, I didn't mean to. I just didn't like the way he was speaking to Bucky, and then started speaking very ill of me and the group. And I can't deal with that level of discrimination, I guess is the right word. So I apologize
warned
again.
about this when we were leaving. I literally said we were probably going to face this.
Yeah,
and
but
you all
he was
chose to
being
go
real
about it in the
gross.
worst manner possible.
He was being real gross, and I didn't appreciate it. He asked us to,
He
for
was
questions,
doing it
lured us in.
too.
He lured us in by giving us all this stuff just to see how we could be riled up, because that's what he was getting at. He was seeing how
Yes.
we'd react.
And you allowed him to manipulate you.
Yeah, well,
Play you just like Bucky's flute.
well, sorry. I don't handle that well. Apologize. I didn't like the way he spoke to Bucky. I really didn't like that.
Neither did I, but he is a force within this city who we do not need opposed to us. We're trying to do good. We are here in the name of Our Lady, in service to their king. There's no reason that the Inquisitor of this city should view us as a deterrent of any kind, even if his views are entirely racist. Doesn't matter how he treats us, it matters how we act. Today we did not act well.
All right.
It's just a little iced
Bucky.
tea. Little southern hospitality.
I'm just letting you know, when they come to put us in cuffs, I'm going to be happy that I have one arm, and secondly, I'm throwing you under the carriage, Bucky.
As long as I can still Misty Step, I'll be okay.
I don't think you're going to find it very easy. They'll be just upon you, just like that gentleman was.
All right.
Well,
Honestly, just let's be... I hate it. I'm not happy with them either. I don't enjoy, but that's the game. That's always the game.
I
Being
mean,
superior to others, and to do it
listen.
with your words, and you just can't be manipulated by people like him.
I mean, sometimes you could solve a problem in more than one way. We could always just head back to Galanti and say, Silverhearth's gone. It's just gone.
We cannot do
And
that.
just let whatever happens to
Colt,
Silverhearth.
if we come to that decision, that means we're not going to King's Comic, but we certainly will deal with the steam fields problem.
Floating
That is
city.
what we have been assigned to. If you want to leave this place to burn, which I don't advise, because there are worse things than racist humans.
Did you say burn? Now you made me feel all bad. All right. Fine.
What do you expect? Someone who says they're going to destroy all the humans. We'll take this one step at a time. We'll see with
Yeah,
what's before us, and
I'll
let's try not to make any more enemies within this city, especially those who can quite literally ruin our lives.
I just come from something different. I mean, I'm a northern boy. There ain't no doing good with rudeness attached to it. You do good, and you're a good person if you speak with kindness and respect. It ain't about just your actions. It's about giving people respect, and I didn't see that as respect. I saw that as him looking down upon us, and it's just hard for me to get over that. I'll try my
He's not
best.
going to give us respect. He won't give us respect until he could view us as something more than what he views us as. And that's not going to happen until we've proved to him our ability. We can only speak of it.
We gotta remember, we're not at home, and this will never be home for us.
Yeah, especially if we just go back to Galante. But I mean,
I don't know if we'll have a home with Galante if we just go back and do nothing.
Well, that's why we're going to handle the steam fields problem at least.
Orville's gonna lean over to Bucky and whisper, "I don't like it when Mom and Dad fight."
Me neither, buddy.
Can I just say, while this conversation's happening, can I just be summoning Chonkini?
Sure. Yeah, you prepare the summoning materials for Chunkini, which is normally it should be like some incense or things like that. For you, it's just like leftover bacon and some catnip. You're kind of like rubbing it together, like yeah, Chunkini, kini, 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 yeah, Chunkini, kini, 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 and slowly the 10 gold worth of reagents used in casting the spell summons forth a very large and ample-bodied cat. That slowly kind of just apparates in your lap. You can feel the weight pressed down on your thighs. Its 2 paws sat on the table, and its very heavy head slumps down onto the table. And you kind of just have it like look around and slowly kind of groggily open its eyes, and you hear meow.
Quick, put the shoes on it.
I'm gonna try to put the shoes that I have on him.
All right,
His front feet.
you start fiddling and putting these little belled shoes on your cat. It kind of grumbles and twists a little bit, but it is also very, very lazy and doesn't really fight back. It more like kicks its feet, but in like the weakest, like strength 4 way possible.
Do you see this cruelty, Aja? I would never do this to you.
You hear the like.
He enjoys it, truly.
everybody has a
Sure.
pet.
Yeah, I can tell. You should
Everybody
give
has
a little
pet.
hat
I
for
need a
him.
pet.
Everyone has a pet. I need a pet. Jesus.
I'll make him a hat. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everyone always has all these cool pets. Hey, Orville, you got any of them bugs still alive?
Nope. I got some of this fruit from Harold though.
I'll find a pet one of these days.
He's get a pet rock.
What's up, Jimmy? The Rock?
His
The
name was
only way I can
Blue.
be close to Jimmy. He's a rock now.
It's fine. Once I'm summoning groups of skeletons, you can just be like, this one's mine.
Well, a rock also has no legs.
No, I know the kind of pet that he's gonna have. It's gonna be stupid if I can find one.
I have a fat cat.
Yeah, but Colt's gonna have like a goldfish in a bag and then not feed it. Look at my pet. Check it out. Oh, damn it! Another one died.
Another dead
Flicking the
goldfish.
We're
bag.
gonna have to keep replacing it so that you think it's the same one.
The
This
worst.
one's a different. It just changed colors since last night. That's weird.
Oh shit! Just raise it as a zombie. There it is. It's fine.
All right, that's weird.
Close to that, right? You can just start doing that.
Ah,
He's trying to bite through the bag and bite me. Didn't know fish could do that.
Listen, I've seen Kareem campaigns end with just getting arrested by the local militia. Colt, you know this.
Yeah, it doesn't end
Let's
well.
not do that
Don't get
here.
arrested. Don't get arrested. Don't get arrested. Don't hit a mayor. Don't swing on a mayor. Don't do it. Ever. It doesn't matter. He's the most evil mayor. He's the big bad. Don't do it. Just don't swing on him. Sorry, dude. Sorry for getting in your way.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, just go ahead and summon Tiamat or whatever you're doing. You're a mayor. We can't. We can't do it.
Oh. Now, come on now. You got to have a little bit of jumbo greedy.
Yeah, and don't listen. Don't focus on the robot. Focus on the other people. And if we make a plan, let's just follow the plan.
Oh, and if there's two
That's all I
paths and
got.
one is an unescapable hole, go into the unescapable hole.
Ooh.
I just hope that no one that I've been playing with watches this, because they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, dog?" I mean, there's a few more I can mention of don'ts, but never mind.
I'm gonna wait for that Facebook Messenger when George messages you and it's just like, the fuck. So it'll be good. But with that, any last things before we roll out for the night, guys? No? All right, cool. So for everyone who stuck with us, I very much thank you guys so much. I'm going to be pulling the list from Twitch tonight for everyone here. So certain thanks for you for hanging out. We're going to have the re-upload to YouTube later this week. As I said, we're going to pull the list, get everything together for the randomizer. Then we'll be picking a winner. Boop. Live on stream probably Wednesday. It'll probably just be a really short stream, but I'll leave it up there just so we have a record of it and everyone can be like, hey, didn't play favorites. So yeah, we'll have it there. For everyone, as always, we thank you so much. We'll see you next Monday. We'll be playing some games on this channel probably throughout the week. So if you like to watch us for the video game channel stuff too, we do it. We're down to our last goal, and we're within 1,000 of it. So I think we're probably going to hit it, or we're within 6,000 of it.
Get that close?
Yeah, we're within 6,000 of it. Sorry. So yeah, it'll probably finish by the end of the week, which just is another cool thing.
There.
So always fun. For everyone, as always, I thank you so much. We will see you next week, and thank you. Peace out.